Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a flesh and blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Derek and Logan.
Hello, and welcome to episode 131 of Flesh and Pod. I choked on this already.
You gave me such a hard time about swallowing my tea so that you could start recording, and then you...
I'm the one that choked on it. I blame the beer. I blame Jordan. Welcome, Jordan, back to the show. It's been a year and a half-ish.
Has it really?
Yeah, since you were last on, since yours and Abby's farewell episode. So welcome back.
Gosh, thank you so much.
To those who don't know or have never gone back to the catalog, Jordan is one of the three original co-hosts of the show, along with myself and Abby, before they took a vow to go on a retreat in Tibet, where they meditated and ostensibly became better people. Well, Jordan did. Abby was already the pinnacle of salvation. And then that's when they were replaced with Charmer, who has made my life infinitely worse by having puns literally every episode and just being a fucking degenerate that I have to babysit on a regular basis. So thank you for sticking with me with that, Jordan. That's very nice of you.
Anytime. I'm happy to. I knew how it was going to go. And frankly, I always thought Derek brought a bit of I'm sorry, it's Charmer on here. I'm sorry, Charmer. I always thought Charmer brought an air of professionalism to it. And then I listened to the first episode after Abby and I left, and I went, oh.
Just because I can be professional doesn't mean that I will be. I, like most folks, I perform to the job as required. And this is not a show that requires the level of professionalism that, say, my day job or a broadcast would require. And I knew that when I accepted, so I just played into the bit. I commit to the bit, which if there's one rule for this show, it's that you commit to the bit. So much so that
the only rule.
I feel as the only woman on this broadcast to start talking about some sensitive issues. And it's very clear to me that I have replaced Abby, because now that Jordan has returned to the show, there was always that toss up. Did I replace Jordan? Did I replace Abby? But Jordan's here and Abby's not. So one, that's great news for me because that's the good one to replace. And two, I now feel like I can speak to more important issues, such as Jordan, you're looking handsome, buddy.
Thanks, babe. You're looking hot too.
Being away has been good to you.
Yeah, you. I mean, definitely has done wonders for you.
Gosh, I've lost 50 pounds since last
time.
That'll do it. Probably.
I wanted to make sure folks knew that if they were listening on the audio platforms, Jordan has put in a lot of work. And I mean,
realistically, you lost like 370 pounds because you got rid of me plus the 50. So
I like to think that I gained some like peace from like a broader community more than anything. Like I don't have to like respond to DMs anymore or manage Discord as often or anything like that. So I got more time.
Time is great. What's that
like?
I
do miss like this is the juice, man. Like, oh my God.
This is the fun part.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a video call with like two of my best friends, like talking about a thing we like, like I don't know that there's anything better than that, to be honest.
Yeah, speaking of the thing we liked, Jordan, did I know that like when you left, you kind of left Flesh and Blood. Yeah. And you started to dip a toe back in. I know you played in the Mistveil pre-release. And I don't know if you've done anything beyond that yet, but what did you think so far about Mistveil?
It's funny. I do the pre-release. So there's a group here from Columbus that like does they do like a pre-release gauntlet every set. And the hallmark of that weekend is they take several cars up to Mansfield to go to the Realm and play in their pre-release. And like, so most of the experience is in the car trip and the dinner afterwards, So I've done that for the past 2 or 3 pre-releases now, and it's very fun. Flesh and Blood is not the game that I left. It is crazy how different the game is and how like even like a year and a half kind of removed, it feels entirely different. The first time that my opponent played 3 of those instant speed legendary cards that like flip into the chi or whatever, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what's happening. Like timing windows matter so much more. Like I had so much fun on the trip that we went on 0% of it was related to Flesh and Blood. So much that round 3 of the pre-release, I played against a friend of the show, David. He also likes Star Wars. I scooped to him just so we could play Star Wars. Because I was like, hey, I'm really not vibing with this Flesh and Blood deck. Like, I don't want to watch you cast all these instants and then do cool things with your hero. My deck is like, I attack you once and then pass. Like, I'm a donkey. I'll concede. And he was like, yeah, like, let's just play Star Wars. So we played like 4 games of Star Wars and it was great. But, man, the art on this set is really cool. I really enjoyed going through the cards. I had some sick opens. I got a Marvel, I got a legendary cold foil, but like, the actual gameplay is a far cry different from you get an action point and maybe you could make some more. But I had fun with the experience that I had. What do you guys think about this set? I guess, like, as people that haven't stepped away from.
Yeah. So I drafted it this weekend for the second time.
Was it hard?
And yes.
Okay.
Very much so. We had a spot at the table where I was trying to feed the guy to my left and force him into assassin. And I was staying at a ninja lane thinking the person on my right probably was going to lean Enigma. I did not help things by opening a Levels of Enlightenment with like 5 other first picks in a deck or in a pack. And Levels of Enlightenment is a majestic 1-cost blue block 3 that's modal based on how many blues you've pitched that turn. And the modes are E-Strike. It's +2, draw a card, and go again. And so, right.
That's the one I have in the hyper. I said hyperspace extended art.
Extended art. Yeah, that's very expensive and good on you. Yeah, but that card's disgusting. And I'm like, I'm not passing this, but I'm passing a 3 for 7, a bunch of illusionist first picks, and at least 1 assassin first pick by doing this. But there's not much ninja in the pack, so I think I'm okay in that direction. Well, it turns out the guy to my left, Taylor, you remember Taylor, he did not know what to do in the set. So he was just alpha picking every chi that he saw. So those are the flip cards.
Yeah.
He wound up with 7 of them.
Okay.
And didn't take a single assassin card. So the guy to his left had a cracked ass assassin deck. But you had 4 enigmas at the table, and 2 of those enigma had sub 3 chi.
Oh my god.
Which is unplayable.
Yeah, they're just playing an action a turn and passing. Yeah.
Right. Like, so one of them is like a very good prism player, and so he was fine. Like, he knew what to do when he couldn't make spectral shields like that, and kind of just shifted a game plan. I wound up with exactly what I wanted for chi with Zen, so that felt great. And the guy to my right wound up okay on chi. But somebody soaked up 7 of them, like just slurped that shit and just fucked everything up outside of the people to his right. Which I was, fortunate to be to his right. So it's very difficult especially when you have people that aren't familiar with how to value the cards and how much of anything you want at one time in a deck. So that made for a challenge in like the first like 8-man pod that we ever fired, outside of it being like a larger or smaller draft. I think that I still feel like new was very specific. Like, so the assassin is very specific to draft and is still the hardest to play. I feel like the ninja has the highest floor, lowest ceiling in limited. And then the illusionist is the most difficult to pilot. It's like the second most difficult to pilot, but has these nice big turns that come out of commons. So that's probably the one that you're going to be able to put together the most, provided there aren't a bunch at the table. So I think it's a deep draft. It's also the shittiest experience for a new player. Like, there is no fucking way that as a new player, you would look at this and go, I understand how this game operates. No, you don't. Yeah, this isn't how the game operates.
This is the best way that I know how to describe the experience for this set in terms of like a new player experience is like, we just came from Heavy Hitters, which is like Welcome to Wraith. And then you go to this, which is like Monarch on steroids. Like, imagine if you had only played Welcome to Wraith and you knew nothing about Monarch, and then you tried like doing that with Soul and auras and whatever, but like it's worse because you also have instant timings and chi and I really like the format. I really like the limited format, and I'll talk about my feelings as far as like the impact of the set overall goes. But for a limited format, I actually think that it's very deep if you are a competitive minded person. I don't think that this set is super new player friendly, but I also think that's okay because we just had one. I think if they go like one on, one off like this, kind of as far as the new player experience, then things are probably fine. Because the set is fun, but yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, there's a lot. Like I even like somewhat know what I'm doing. Like I have played Flesh and Blood, and I was still like at my first pre-release missing so many things on like silly instant timing, the fact that you can like double stack them and all sorts of stuff. So
yeah, now I have the image or just the thought of a coked out, roided up King Charles in my head, and that's on you. I want you to be fully aware of that because the roided up monarch, that's where my brain went. It's unpleasant.
Sounds terrible.
Close to
sounds
history.
terrible. King Charles thinks it's terrible.
Yes. Charles Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, is one of the greatest video games ever created. We all know. If you've never seen the impact of a chaos dunk, then your life is not complete.
You just play Street Jam? Was it Street Jam? Was the PS?
NBA Street?
NBA Street, yeah.
Oh yeah, I played NBA Street, but not as much as NBA Jam. NBA Jam at the actual arcade was the sauce.
100%. Yeah, I absolutely loved NBA Jam. Played a shit ton of that. I played Street though.
Yeah. I need to go to the barcade that you go to when you're here, Logan, and see if they have NBA Jam.
They do. They have the tournament machine. Mm-hmm. At least last time I was there. Okay. Yeah, we can go there during Origins.
For Origins, sick.
Yeah, go play some Jam, like 100%. Or we can go to the one over by Onyx's Heavyweight and Still Undisputed. But go over to the one by the hot dog place. That one's also kind of fun.
That's the one I was thinking of, actually.
Okay, yeah, okay. I was thinking of the one that is above Barley's. Because I go to that one too.
Oh, you know, it's funny. I've only ever been to that one once with you.
Huh.
Yeah. When I think of Barcade, I think of the one by Dirty Frank's.
Dirty Frank's, that's the one. Yeah. Brady will want his wieners. So we will probably 100% be going to Dirty Frank's. We might as well go.
Tell him to bring his shirt.
Tell him to bring the shirt? Okay, I'll tell him to bring the shirt.
Yeah.
Did you do anything?
He's got a shirt that says "shoving wieners in my face."
Yeah, it's great.
It's wonderful. Anyway,
yeah, so you're fine. Derek, did you do anything in Flesh and Blood at all?
I streamed opening a case live on Twitch, and
proud of you.
Had one good box, but the rest was kind of ho-hum. Like at the time I was opening, I felt pretty good, but the longer that goes by, I'm like, man, that was kind of a disappointing case. I did get 2 Marvels, but neither of them were the heroes.
Sure.
And I only got 1 legendary, and it was the Rainbow Foil Traverse.
That's the best one. The Traverse is the best one to get overall.
Yeah, it's the best one to get overall. But
you're doing the I opened $100, but it was folded bit right now.
You kind of are.
Like, I only got a couple of Marvels, and I got the best legendary in the set. But like, man, it wasn't great.
I got no gold pack, right? I got a Rainbow Foil version of the legendary, and the 2 Marvels that I got were not the heroes. So, like, yeah, I opened $100, but I spent $400 to do it.
Yeah, I opened a cold foil ninja chest.
Like I think you're missing the initial investment. This isn't like,
I'm sorry. I was just doing the. If you gave a Magic player a $100 bill, they would complain that it's folded bit.
They complain about how you.
I wasn't complaining about the actual dollar to EV bit.
Yeah. No, this is an EV thing, and so it's just one of those.
And you got the value and fun of opening a pack of Flesh and Blood cards. Derek.
Oh,
that's
right.
priceless.
I mean, and so that's the problem. Is it is really fun to open packs.
Flip and rip is priceless.
My problem is that I'm left. This is why I was saying that I feel like it was a letdown, because I'm now stuck in this position where I still want an Enigma New Moon, and I want my Assassin stuff, right? So I want both copies of New, and I need my Cold Foil Mask of Recurring Nightmares. Now, for the most part, I can just go buy them or trade for them or whatever. But that's not as fun as opening a case. But I also know, like, fully that I could just get another case and still end up with exactly 0 of those things.
Yeah.
So This is why it's disappointing, because now I have to decide, do I want to gamble or do I want to be responsible? And I hate having to be responsible.
The responsibility sucks. Don't do
when
it.
it comes
What
to
are you
my
talking
hobbies.
Yeah.
When it comes to the hobby side.
No, don't be responsible. What the fuck are you doing?
You can just roll bones and you're electing to not.
Yeah.
I don't understand the.
That doesn't make
You
sense to me.
definitely replaced Abby. Okay, let me tell you.
Because I really want my cool assassin stuff. All right.
I mean,
Also,
sure, but they could be in that pack. You don't know.
I'll be honest here. I also have this dilemma because the case that I did open. So Jordan, if you didn't know, I opened the Marvel Adult Zen at my pre-release, right?
Okay.
And then the case I opened had a ton of Zen stuff. One of the Marvels I opened is the like Zen legendary
The sacred art.
right? And then also I opened like a ton of the Majestics that are playable in like a Crouching Tiger version of Zen. So now I'm like, well, is this the universe just telling me I should play Zen? Like I've been all in on Assassin for like the last 6 months to a year, basically. But I opened all this cool stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, Zen's really good.
Zen's really good, and the biggest problem that I have, I'll be honest, the biggest problem I have right now with Assassin is that I don't think that any of them have a great matchup into Enigma. It's not like unwinnable, but it's not good, and I think Enigma's a bit of a problem. I think Zen,
of course you do.
I think Zen is, with the ability to go wide, at least a little bit better prepared. I need to set up some time to talk to Tommy, because I, like as a sleeper pick, think that this actually might be the best meta to pull out Riptide and surprise people.
Yes.
That might be my hot take, but I think that Riptide's actually pretty well positioned right now. He's good. When you look at what the new heroes are doing, he's good into all of them. And I think he's good enough into KO where if you just dodge Kanos all day, he could be a legitimate contender.
Yeah. I mean, yes. And that's something that a lot of people are experimenting with. The problem is he still gets slapped by Prism, which isn't great.
Right. But Prism, I think he's good into, or better into Enigma than he is Prism. Prism is a problem. But yeah,
it's just, I don't know. I did win my Star Wars Store Showdown yesterday, though.
Ooh.
So I got that one in the pocket.
Did you play? I know this isn't a Star Wars pod, but
no, it is half the time anyway. Sabine Yellow, just
being
an aggro boy.
White deck.
Yeah, just be an aggro boy.
Did you play the Derek version or the Doa version?
The Logan version.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's not the same as either. We have some disagreements on card slots. That's all.
Okay.
I have been on the, I think it's meta-based, but like I've been on the I'm good ignoring the accessories plan. Like I have nothing to target accessories. I've just decided, fuck it, we ball. I did have an opponent that he was like, okay, I can't take 4 over and over again from this K2SO, so I'm going to play entrenched on this K2SO. And I'm like,
you poor sweet child.
Now wound up taking like 12 from that K2SO. And
they weren't taking 4 anymore.
That's correct.
That's a great point.
And then a Spark of the Rebellion put in work in that matchup.
Like the item overwhelm. Like what?
Right. Right. Yeah. It was item blue, so it was it was kind of a free roll anyway. I mean, that deck's a little too slow to handle a Sabine. If they don't get to blast before, if they're at 27, they're dead. Like if they ever get to that threshold, they can't live.
It's so funny how, again, I know we're not a Star Wars podcast, but it's so funny how polarized the Iden decks are, because like Iden blue, I think is not good into Sabine at all. And I know a lot of players think it is, and it's not, but Iden green can like fall asleep against Sabine and still beat her.
Correct.
Like I have never lost to a Sabine on Iden green. It is absurd. It's just so weird how different those two deck makeups are.
Yeah, my only game losses all day were to Boba Yellow. Boba Yellow opponent, close friend of mine, Chris Robinson, was.
Yeah, tell me about these Cunnings.
Yeah, I got fucking cunning 5 times in 2 games. And in game 2,
he sent me a message and he's like, hey, ask Logan about what it feels like to get cunninged 3 times in a single game. And I said, the irony is there's nothing cunning about that. That sounds like blunt force trauma.
Yeah, the math checkout was that the cunnings prevented 24 damage to base.
Oh my God.
Over the course of the game. Like all
Is
three
that
of
enough?
those.
Who knows?
Yeah,
We'll
that
never
was
know.
good enough.
Yeah.
And then we met again in the finals, but I went 2-3 against the deck, but I won the right 2.
There you go.
So,
that's all that matters. Yeah.
Yep, those are the ones that matter. But yeah, getting fucking cunning 5 times in 2 games, it's just like I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? So that one was brutal. But
friend of the show, Matt Coles, plays Star Wars a lot, obviously, and we met in the Swiss of the most recent showdown I played, and I was on Vader Blue, he was on Boba Yellow. He casted cunning twice in 1 turn against me.
Yo, get fucked.
Yeah, because he like did it with his Boba flip turn and like, just had all the mana in the world. And I thought like for sure that I was like at least 60-40 going into that matchup. And that's not enough for the player skill gap between Matt and I. And then he goes, yeah, I think it's closer to 50-50. And I was like, okay, it's definitely too close for the player skill gap. Like I was holding on for dear life with 60-40. And then double cunning came out and I was like, I probably could have protected myself against this, and I just didn't feel like I had a single chance, but I lost to him again in top 4, so like definitely deserved. But man, that game was fun.
I love that game, but
it's a good break from Flesh and Blood. I always tell people that I enjoy playing them both because they are both very different.
There's no overlap.
There's like almost no overlap, and they both satisfy very different experiences for me. I love that Flesh and Blood is a degenerative design. I always talk about how that's very appealing to me because there's almost no other game on the market where you start the strongest that you're going to be and you get weaker over time. And then I also love that fantasy of like building up and getting more powerful over time that most people associate with like Magic. And obviously Star Wars fills that niche. But for me, somebody who played a lot of the Elder Scrolls Legends and Artifact and Legends of Runeterra, there's so much of that game that's like those 3 meshed together that Star Wars is like, even though it's a new game, very nostalgic for me. Like it feels like home when I play it. And I don't know how else other to describe it other than like, obviously I've been a Star Wars fan for forever. So the material is nostalgic, but also the gameplay is somehow both new, but also nostalgic. And so they both satisfy different needs for me. And that's great.
All right. So let's glance over the news and notes really quick in Flesh and Blood because we're not a Star Wars podcast. But it's news light, but we have, I think, 17 listener questions now after I solicited the Discord, and a lot of them are multi-parters. Most of them are directed at Jordan. So this will be fun. Including my favorite one, who's Jordan? That's probably my favorite question.
That is my favorite one. We do have something to talk about that is related to our previous topic and the Flesh and Blood, which is the Battle Hardened and the Pro Quest were won by somebody who everybody knows as Noah Clark in the Flesh and Blood community. But I, coming from Legends of Runeterra, as I said before, know Noah as Darkodius. So congratulations, Darkodius, on your big weekend.
He fucking hates that name. It's just the best. He gave it to himself. Like, who's he gonna fight? But
I don't know. Sometimes I hate Charmer, so I get it.
Well, you did it to yourself too. So
yeah.
But yeah, Noah Clark won both the Battle Hardened and Pro Quest in Montreal this past weekend. The Battle Hardened was limited. So he of the famous, now infamous Twitter thread of I guess listener. I don't know if he listens anymore, but Nate Snyder going out and talking about how limited was bad for Pro Tours and Nationals, and it's miserable and it shouldn't be a thing, and blah 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 blah, and or that limited sucks. And Noah's response was, "What if it isn't limited? That sucks." And so Noah just decided to chaos dunk, but then not only did that, then went out and won a limited calling. And then turned around and won a PTI event the next day. So nothing better than a motivated Darkodius, apparently.
And nothing motivates him. I'm going to also be upfront. He is a very nice guy. And I think that sometimes people take his, what I'll describe as online persona, as being a bit more serious than it is, but he does love good trash talk.
Oh, sure.
And I think that's just like great for the game. So naturally, it's not just like, oh, he's motivated and he's successful, but immediately he's going to start talking trash.
Love it.
The moment he gets a big victory like this, and he got 2 back-to-back.
Yeah,
so.
and his deck went to the glue factory because he was playing Dromai forever. And then post glue factory, he was like, I don't know what I'm going to play. I don't want to play. I don't want to play. And then the Enigma stuff started rolling. He's like, I think I figured it out. And here we are. He's already in the corner. But the secret that's sitting out there really is that Zen's the best deck, I think, is what people are trying to arrive at. I still personally think that it's probably an Enigma build that is the quote unquote best deck. And then you go from there. I think that that's actual, like Zen and Enigma, one of the two is level 0. And I don't know which one is yet, but at some point in time, like before Nats, it's either figure it out or just play what you think is what you're most comfortable playing and hope that that's your edge and don't fuck up draft. That's pretty much it. But let's go back to this fucking discussion again. I got to tap the sign about Nats, Pro Tours, and Worlds having draft as part of them. Yes. Limited should be part of the highest tier of events. You should be proving that you are able to navigate, at the very least, the waters of all competitive formats. I believe that Blitz belongs to. So, and also at this point, I think that World should have Living Legend, Blitz, Draft, and CC. But I'm also a fucking heathen and want chaos all the time. So there's that.
I also think there should be a sequence of Ultimate Pit Fight where you're put in pods of 4 and you earn points based on your finish within said pod of the Ultimate Pit Fight.
And then fab boxing? Are we going to do chess boxing with Flesh and Blood like somewhere weaved in here?
It is a game based on like fighting one-on-one. Absolutely.
All right.
I accept that. Yeah, I'm not going to be very good at those events. Like I don't have the cardio, but I'll
one
try
lucky
it.
shot. Just one lucky shot. That's all it takes. You can do that.
Exactly.
I believe in you.
Yeah, I think I have I do have knockout potential.
Yeah, I think you got some power in that, right?
Yeah. For sure.
But I honestly, I don't know why we keep trying to relitigate this or whatever. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like Magic always had, Pro Tours were, except for when they were divided back in the day, were always limited, constructed.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are we doing? Like, why
couldn't be the Pro Tour champ without being good at both.
Right.
Listen, I'll play devil's advocate for that statement and say just because Magic did it doesn't mean that this game has to do it.
But the argument was Magic's everything is better was part of the argument.
Sure. That's fine. But I'm just saying, like, I think Flesh and Blood should choose to stand on its own feet. And it does so very, very well, mind you. The reason it belongs in competitive is because we know that the developers design the sets with limited in mind. We have dev talks about it. They talk about the pros and cons of the limited experience. We just had all of our sets now officially moving to being draftable formats. It's very clearly something that the people who make the game care about. And so if they're making the game, they kind of know, in my opinion anyway, a little bit better than me. I know that might be a hot take. I'm supposed to know everything as, a player or whatever. But I think that the devs have a handle for, what their vision is for their own game. So heaven forbid that they decide what's competitive or not. That's where I'm at, right? They go and they spend all this time trying to bring us a quality limited experience, a good product. And even if you don't like it, or you didn't like this set or the previous set or whatever, they're still trying, they're putting in the effort. And if it doesn't vibe with you, that's fine. But just because you don't like something doesn't mean that it's not for everybody else or that it shouldn't be a part of a thing, right? I don't like kicking field goals, but I'm not out there saying, hey, we should just not kick field goals anymore. Right.
No, that's your head coach of your football team. That's
actual argument people make, by the way.
Right.
I'm aware, but I also think that's dumb as shit as well. So
yeah. No, that's a really good point about like the developers make this with the game in mind. Like think about the games that like I'm exposed to most now, Lorcana and Star Wars, right? Like one of those games, Lorcana, is not designed with draft in mind. So it'd be very foolish for like a tournament to have that component to it. Star Wars, very much limited development in mind, right? So it would make sense for limited to be a key component of that. I do find it really strange that this thing in society in general now, it's not just TCGs, but like to Derek's point, like I don't like this, so it shouldn't be part of the general comprehensive test that we do for things. And boy, like when you're talking about being the world champion of something, I imagine you should be good with like all of the cards and all of the different ways that you can interact. You know, like Blitz, to your point, Logan, I think Blitz should be part of the world championship format, right? Like if you want to be the world champ, be good at all three formats. That was a big thing. It's crazy that we're 2 years removed from me doing this show, and this community is still going through this cycle of like trying to figure this out.
I want the Iron Man World Championship format where they say ahead of time, like day one is going to be 9 rounds of Swiss, so everybody bring 9 fucking decks. And you got to change heroes every round, because Jordan just hit the nail on the head. You should be good with all the cards. So show me you're good with all the heroes.
Hearthstone, you have a pick ban system for decks,
That's
right?
Like, well, yeah, I know.
You have to be competently playing 5 heroes, right?
More involved than that, right? Like I really want like the full, like you got to bring it all. Now, again, I know that's like cost prohibitive and like I get it.
Good idea though.
It's a pie in the sky thing, but like I would love an event like that where it's just literally like every round you got to do a different hero.
Yeah, like when you get paired on the app, it tells you what deck you're playing. You know, it's like
then it randomizes your decks.
No, you pick blind going into each round, because I want there to be this mental strategy of like I'm going to save my best decks for later in the day, because if I do well early, I'll be against better opponents.
Or
maybe I have to use my best decks up front because we know that like losing in the later rounds is harsher, right? Like I just want it. When you're getting ready to get paired for your round, you know how in Gem there's like I pick a hero. Imagine a thing where it's like before they do the round pairing, you pick your hero for that round and then it pairs people, right? Like,
I like that.
I would love something like that.
This is some degen shit. I'm pretty much into that.
But I'm loving it. I know it's prohibitive, but I'm just saying if somebody the realm or whoever likes to do crazy events wants to do something like this, I'm in.
100%. Yeah, it's fun. That sounds fun as hell, honestly.
Oh shit, I forgot you could swear on this podcast. Holy fuck. You can't swear on mine? And God fucking damn it. Like we go PG on mine because there was Lorcana for a long time. You just said fuck. And I was like, that's gonna be an editing nightmare. And then it was like, oh wait, holy shit, it's not.
Yeah, we're allowed to say fuck. We just can't say.
Wait, can you say?
Well, you can. I'm not going to deal with the blowback. But you can. I'm not here to censor. So, you make your own fucking bet. I don't really care. But there was also the pro quest. No, okay.
And I'm sorry, by the way, Derek, that was a great point. I didn't mean to get distracted and like derail your.
Oh, you remember you can say fuck. No, remember you can say fuck is an important thing. Like that's is a weight lifted off your shoulders. You can just speak freely.
I swear so often, and then on fucking record day, I'm like, oh,
Gorsh Dorn.
Gorsh Dorn. Yeah. Gee Willikers, Mickey.
Yeah, gee Willikers. Yeah, fuck me. Okay. So here's this bugs me. Did you know that there were going to be 2 ProQuest Plus, Derek's favorite branding, events in the United States this weekend in the same place? Right now. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh. Wait, why?
Because at the DreamHack convention, there were 2 ProQuest Plus events. One on Saturday, one on Sunday.
I didn't realize there was going to be 2.
There were 2. And I didn't know until I saw people posting on Twitter going, I'm here at DreamHack. Looks like it's going to be a pretty slim crowd. I'm like, oh, they must be doing some like learn to plays or something. Okay, I want to know in this PTI event. I'm like, a fucking what now? And then eventually, Mansan worked with Matt McInnes and got the hero spreads posted. And I counted the decks, and I'm like, there were 13 players in day 1 on the first one, and 18 players in the second one.
For a PQ Plus gives 2 invites?
Gives a PTI to the winner instead of just a Pro Tour, like instead of qualification.
Instead of a fixed event. Yeah, I gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Plus a gold foil. And
The
then
13-person gold foil event's what you're telling me right
I
now.
need to start going to DreamHack.
Right.
I didn't even I'd found out about the ProQuest Plus at DreamHack after the fact because I had a friend who used to work for DreamHack. She does something different now, but I remember reaching out to her at the end of last year, and I said, "Hey, is DreamHack going to start doing Flesh and Blood stuff?" And she was like, "I think there's something in the pipeline, but I'm taking on this new opportunity, so unfortunately, I won't be around to let you know or help." So I've been kind of pseudo tracking it since last year, and then when I found out that there was going to be an event, I thought it was just one. So I didn't realize that there was another one on Sunday. That's wild.
Nope. So there was the Magic Regional, whatever the fuck they call them. Was that DreamHack
Q?
RC?
I think
Q? I don't know. I thought RCQs were, you know what? Fuck it. I am not doing this. Any rate, the Magic thing, the regional whatever, was at DreamHack. And then there were these 2 PTI events for Flesh and Blood. And again, yes, I understand that, who is going to buy a plane ticket to Dallas, buy a badge to DreamHack, and then pay to enter the event? But, well, Brody Spurlock is the obvious answer. But followed quickly by Matt McGinnis. Both were there. Shocking.
He's from Dallas, right? Or from Texas?
Brody is from Texas, yes.
I think Matt is as well, isn't he?
He-ish, I think.
They split time from what I understand, but I'm pretty sure he's from Texas, yeah.
Either way. But so day 1 was won by Matt on Zen. And then day 2 was won by Chris Iali on Levia. So, okay. There were 31 total players, and obviously some repeats, duking it out for 2 PTIs, 2 gold foil. I mean, fucking Christ. That might have been worth buying a plane ticket to Dallas and paying for a badge to DreamHack at that point in time.
You're getting close to positive EV at least, right?
Yeah, you're trending up. So it's just how, and I went to try to look for it on LSS's page. And under the events and such, and I was just I don't even see this on here.
Wow.
I mean,
they have such big con presence. They have such odd big con presence, Flesh and Blood.
Well, they just started employing a convention team to focus on conventions.
Are they present at they're present at Gen Con for the first time, right?
Yes, they will be. Yeah. They were at UK Game Expo this weekend for the first time, and they'll be at Gen Con for the first time. Their setup looks sick. It looks really, really, really good.
Oh, they have a ton of events actually. Okay, wow. Yeah, cool. Does anything get you the Blaze promo?
They say specifically the ones that do it.
Okay. I can't join a Learn to Play and get it. Okay, damn.
No,
lucky. Yeah. Oh,
but you can join us a $70 sealed, but
yeah. Oh, gosh, no, thank you. TCG's at Cons or Traps anyway, but it's enough to just go get the promo. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want the promo, and I would just go and sit down for as long as it took me to get the promo, and then leave. I have True Dungeons to do. I can't be bothered.
Well, so that's Saturday when we have our True Dungeon group together. We really should consider just taking the group and going to make pods at all the different things that give us promos for all the TCGs and just signing up and dropping Star Wars, Flesh and Blood, blah, 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 blah.
Yep. That's on the list.
What if you're not part of the True Dungeon group?
Well, you should not bring your child. And that's not because I don't think you should bring children. I'm just saying that you shouldn't bring Stark. Because Stark will make Jordan very happy and piss me right the fuck off. Because that's his favorite thing to do.
Tell you what, Stark's 10 out of 10. Everybody tells me that I'm going to scream at this kid in the morning when he's rearing to go. And I'm like, old man, I'm not ready for a 10-year-old.
He's fine in the mornings. It's the evenings that are the problem because his meds are wearing off by then.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's him not being a problem?
Well, so you basically only got him when he was starting to be a problem because at dinner, for example, that's when his meds are starting to wear off. It's okay. Up until
because it was in the convention hall, he was calling me Jordan on purpose.
Well, yeah, that's
little fuck.
You know what though? I don't like that joke because like people do it to make us mad, like inflate us.
Right.
But boy, when someone like Stark getting the bit is
When
really
a
funny.
10-year-old gets the bit,
That kid's gonna be hilarious, man. That kid is really gonna be funny. And
you better
I was
watch
trying
out.
to
Do you want to know what the scary thing is, Jordan?
What's that?
And I absolutely love Stark. I think Monroe might be funnier.
Oh,
and that's
no.
concerning.
Wow. Yeah, gosh.
Monroe, because
It didn't.
the problem is Stark will do the things that he knows are jokes and take the jabs, and Monroe is like
An assassin.
no, he's like naturally funny, but like in a not trying to be, but just says and does some of the most outlandish shit. He's like a funnier Luna Lovegood, where you're just like you are funny and interesting, but like not in an on purpose way. It's just who you are.
The way you observe the universe is just atypical.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a problem with both of them because neither one of them they're going to be like class clowns. I mean, they both already are to begin with, but
oh my god,
I only have a problem with one of them, so that's fine.
They're gonna reach a point where they're funny but sad, and they need to push through it. Okay, I need you to push them through it.
You know what? I think that they are going to be okay.
Good.
I remember at a very young age for Stark, even, before I was in therapy and even knew this was a problem. But I remember turning to Sophie and saying, I don't remember ever being that happy. She was like, I'm sure you were as a kid. And I was like, no, I have a really good memory. Never been that happy. Right. And he's just like running around. I think he was like 4 or whatever. And so like, I've kind of kept that into perspective as they grow older because I try to, just like watch out for some of the signs that
yeah.
Huh. So they're doing well.
Good.
Maybe
good.
Too
I'm
well.
excited. I'm excited to spend Gen Con with Stark. So
did Stark get over his pneumonia type 3? Like, has he recovered?
God, that's the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. Oh my god.
Yeah, he has recovered from pneumonia.
You talked about that on the podcast?
Yeah, he told the story.
Okay. Oh my god,
just
that's the funniest thing.
Put your shoes back on because I'm gonna get pneumonia type 3 from your stank ass speed.
A hard day, right? Like we learned a lot of bad news that day, and I really was having a hard time. And then just Stark, just like you're gonna kill your brother with
guns blazing.
Like I was sitting there like kind of like being really sad boy fall to Abby, and I was like, and then I get this text from Darren and start laughing. It really did make my day a lot better. It really did.
Well, I'm glad because it made my day a lot better because you're right. That was a great day for me at the start, and then it got really bad, and then it got better, and that was it was kind of in that moment when I was like, you know what, this is an after this weekend problem. Mm-hmm.
Funny kid.
Way to kill the mood, fucks. At any rate,
I'll see you guys in a year and a half.
Did Zoidberg walk away?
We've been going through that. Oh,
you know what? That's what I need to do. You don't have to, Logan, but Jordan, you need to play Fortnite with me and Stark.
I watched that for a while.
No deal.
It's not bad.
No deal. I have taste. Sorry.
No. It is.
Is it cross-platform?
It is, yes.
Okay.
And if you want the extra credit, we can do a 4-man because Monroe will play with us on his Switch as well. And
you're playing with Tavarish, right?
Yeah, we usually play with Tavarish. A friend of mine was a longtime mod in my channel when I was streaming more regularly. I'm starting to do that again. But it is an experience, and even like I'm not a big Fortnite fan either, but like even though I'm not, they crack me up.
They make it fun.
Yeah,
okay.
Because like all Monroe wants to do is get in a car and drive around, and like Stark is a little loot goblin, and he will like randomly fall off an island to his death mid-fight for no reason, and then like it's exactly what you think it is, but it's as long as you go in and you're just like, all right, our goal is definitely not to win.
Sure.
Like, the goal is fun. It's a really good time.
I'll check it out. The only reason I
reminded me because we all have the Zoidberg emote. We have some stinked up stuff that we do on kids' corpses because, of course,
Gotcha. No, the only hesitancy I have is first-person shooters make me ill. So like,
well, it's third person.
then
Over
I
the
don't have
shoulder.
an excuse. I will give it a shot.
There you go. Well, you've been convinced.
Boom.
Now
Fortnite
we got to
podcast.
convince people. Now we got to convince people to go to the Realm for
Yes.
their event in New Jersey.
Should do that.
Here's the way that I convince you. 1, Stark won't be there. 2, I will be there. Casting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's it. That's the full sale.
That's it. Okay, so Saturday, July 20th, $70 entry, 5K, classic constructed. It is Realm Fest. So there's also a Lorcana 1K and a Star Wars Unlimited 1K, along with the Flesh and Blood 5K.
Is the Star Wars one on Sunday?
I don't fucking know. I'm not your dad.
Oh,
I just
I
wanna
if
know-
you're working or not.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out whether I can spike a 1K after.
Let me see. It's definitely not positive EV to go to New Jersey for a 1K, but let me pull up my calendar.
It's
here.
not positive. You could just end with it's not positive EV to go to New Jersey.
Yep.
Like
true.
you
We'll
don't have
stop.
to add anything else to it.
That's true. That's
They have
big
Taylor
for
Ham,
July.
Tommy Fresh, and fuck else.
Oh, I have a work thing. The 20th.
The last time I
Oh.
was in New Jersey, I was doing the Battle Spirits Pro Tour. I was casting that with Cosmic.
Oh, I remember.
Wow.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and
God,
there
that
was
was a while
big
ago.
there was a big cheating scandal, and
Yeah. Is that game still going?
I
it's
don't-
still going.
Is it?
I have the
Huh.
Gen Con starter deck stuff.
Yeah, I got
That's
that
all I
Gen
have.
Con stuff.
I have
behind me.
the One Piece thing that they did that's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
That's when I swore off Konami. Was at Gen Con last year?
Konami or
Yeah,
Bandai?
well, good news. They're
Bandai.
Bandai.
Yeah, Bandai. I swore off Bandai.
Konami
That's who it
is
was, yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! I think.
That's right. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Bandai had the worst. Like, I really wanted to learn to play One Piece, and I really wanted to learn to play Battle Spirit Saga because Jarek, and like they had the worst like setup ever.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I
that
was
was
in
trash.
line. I had a ticket. The guy was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, there are friends that want to play together, so we bumped you to the next available free person." And I was like, "Oh, can a staff member teach me to play? Because I've been here for 30 minutes now." And they're like, "Oh no, sorry, we don't do that." And I was like, "Oh well, I bought a ticket." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll just give you a generic back." And I was like, "Yeah, this is Saturday night. These generics are trash now."
Yeah, they don't do
Like,
anything.
Yeah, like I don't do Gen Con in a way that generics are good. So can I just
Right.
like have $2? And he was like, "No." I was like, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just never play your game or
Odds
any
makers
game
take
from
a
this
beating,
company
I
again."
guess.
Yeah, exactly. I was
I know
really
Jordan-
excited to learn the game because of Derek too. I was really.
I know
excited.
Jordan has missed this sound.
Thank you. To
You're
your
welcome.
show.
To your
Yeah.
show, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
I had to bring it back.
I like the art on those games a lot.
Yeah.
I like the One Piece live action a lot.
I mean, honestly, like Flesh and Blood art is still, I think, the best tier right now for any game, and has
It's
been for a little
really
bit.
good.
Yeah,
But
They've been
Mistveil
knocking it
is
out of the
so
park,
good.
and it's been like it's just been
Yeah.
getting better with every set.
They just keep giving Ejor more cards too, so that doesn't hurt.
I
Yeah.
love Eastern Asian themed, like feudal
Yeah.
Asia, that kind of stuff in general. Like Big L5R guy, obviously. And holy
Mhm.
cow, this set is just like the fable in this set. Oh my god, it's
It's
gorgeous.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy one. It's sick.
Yeah, the cold foiled cheese break me because they look so
Mm.
fucking good that you don't want to pitch them. You
The-
just want to stare at them in
I-
your hand.
I keep saying like the cheese side isn't getting the love it deserves because everybody
It
shows
looks
off
so good.
the Marvel side because obviously they want to show you with the card, and I get that, but like the cheese side looks outstanding
Yeah.
as well.
It's unreal good.
Man.
Yeah,
I
'cause
know
my-
that it's not likely to ever show up, and I love the East, Asian theme, but I really need a set with werewolves. I just need
Yeah.
flesh and blood art done like gothic, and I need a good werewolf, a good gargoyles, something.
You need a werewolf
Yeah.
mommy? Is that what you're telling me?
wow.
No, I need a werewolf daddy.
Okay, you're not suckling at teats, you're suckling at other things. Okay, makes sense.
Good for you.
I mean, you do what you do.
2024, babe. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no one's judging you. No one's going to
Yeah.
yuck your yum.
Curious,
You get-
but not judging.
I mean,
Yeah.
you go
what,
get it.
What did Ted Lasso tell us? Curious, not judgmental. You know.
I didn't watch Ted Lasso. Was I supposed
Oh,
to?
yeah, you should. It's good.
Should
it's
I?
good.
Does he ever
Yeah.
say fuck?
No,
Oh, that's weird.
he does not. I don't think.
Most of my heroes say fuck. I don't know what happened to Derek. I think we killed him.
Derek's dead. R.I.P.
Well, that's not the first time. Like, oh, he's back. Okay, cool.
He's back. You just take a little break.
Yeah, just a little
I
walkabout.
just remembered. I don't know if it's going to show up well, but I remembered
Oh,
God,
that
that's good.
I have the chi.
That's sick.
That's so good.
Chi is gorgeous on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
like I
getting
said,
the
I
full
can't.
foil effect right now. That looks really good.
Yeah, I can't pitch them. They look too good. Because I
wouldn't play that.
Marvel. Yeah, I opened a Marvel Sacred Art and a Marvel Stir the Pot in my case, and then 3 legendaries. It was pretty good.
Almost blinded. I gotta put myself.
Yeah, they're really bright. They pop like a motherfucker. Like I want just to do all of the full set of them as cold foils as those, but like they're 100 a shot, and it's that's. I mean, obviously those prices will come down a bit. But I'm probably a buyer at 40 a shot, but it's they're super pretty. Just absolutely no notes.
Yeah, the chi side just looks outstanding, and every time people were opening them, and like I said, I get it because you want to say like which one you got, but they were only posting photos on Twitter and sharing photos of the one side.
Oh, like, wow, yeah, weird.
No, it's the side that looks great, but is not the best looking side. So,
well, I don't know this one, the rising sun, setting moon, Phoenix thing, because when they cold foiled it, the Phoenix itself is like golden. That actually looks really, really good to me.
Nice. Well, I think it's time for listener questions. It's time to grill Jordan. I don't think this has ever happened on this show. Has it? Have you been grilled before?
I don't know that I've been grilled. I used to run the show, so I was the griller, perhaps.
No, Abby ran the show.
That's true. I ran the show. I ran the round table, the first round table we did.
You did. Yeah, we were definitely the big top of the show, and Abby was definitely the ringmaster. So
put a tent over the circus.
I mean, I'll pitch a tent. I'll pitch a tent right now. You can't stop me. First set of questions is from Bad Buns 84. I think first time. I don't know if they're long time. I don't think so, because their question is, who is Jordan?
Yeah. Which is funny because that's a very existential question that I struggle a lot with. So yeah, big same Bad Buns. Big same. Jordan Kennedy, played TCGs my whole life. Started Flesh and Pod with my wife Abby and Logan. Episode 1 through like 100-ish, Logan?
No, 50.
Did I make it to 100?
No, you made 50. It just past a year. So like 57, 58.
Oh, that's right. And it was basically like the hard new year was kind of when we started winding it down, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we the transition was the show before New Year's. Was with all 4 of us. It's the only show where all 4 of us are on it.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was a guest, and then like, I don't know, it was only like 2 or 3 weeks later that I took over. And now that I've said that out loud, I wonder if like I made you quit.
Probably.
I think so. I never told you, but yeah, you ruined my love of Flesh and Blood.
So I did to you what I've done to 2.5 therapists so far. I'm impressed.
But you're not winning the third one, it looks like. You've been
this
is a long fight.
I mean, there have been many cancellations. I have not seen him in like a month so far.
Oh,
so I don't know if he's just not enjoying.
Listen, as your friend, that's not good. This is funny, but as your friend, I want you to make an appointment and go. As a person that loves you,
it's not me. It's not me who's dodging it. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when you have a long time one, I've found that winning is them having to write a bunch every session. Like when they stop taking notes, like you're not winning anymore. You've got to keep it fresh, you know.
Hold on. So the scorekeeping in therapy is if they have to continue to write no matter how long you've gone to them. I've never been in therapy, so I don't know.
Yeah, asking questions. If they don't fire
that's points
you
on the board.
Yeah, that's points. Yeah.
Huh.
Gosh, also, you're talking to 2 people that are not well, so don't listen to this as advice at all.
I mean, sure.
Dear listener, Derek and I are not who you should base your mental health off of.
I mean, but let's be realistic here. You're listening to 3 people that aren't well. I just medicate with booze heavily.
Yeah, I wish you would take advice from someone else is basically what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan. Like, just throwing that out there.
No, but yeah, if they don't quit, you've lost. But like the difficulty tier down, like if you don't want to play on nightmare mode, you just want to play on hard, is like them firing up. Like how many legal pads do they go through? You know,
how big your file is.
Exactly.
This one is taking longer. Just I think because he's young.
So stamina.
So like he was like, he's just new to practice, right? So like the first one, I got to a point where he just literally said, I don't know how to help you. Do you want to keep having sessions or not? The second one, she told me that I had to find a new therapist because she was quitting the profession to go back to school and seek a new career.
That is a flawless victory.
Yeah, that is like I Eminem'd her like she was Ja Rule, basically.
Like she was MGK, like Machine Gun Kelly. She had to change genres.
Yeah,
like Machine Gun Kelly gets blown out and has to change genres. That's where we're at.
This one, it's there are several instances where it'll say like, I don't know, let me either talk to like a superior or my mentor or whatever, because he's young and new to practice, and so there's a lot of times where he says like, I don't know, I'll look into that or I'll get back to you. And so I just feel like he's still in his process of learning, so he doesn't know when his avenues are all out like the other two were when they were just like, nope.
Yeah, he's
so
going to go to his
mentors
and be like,
longer.
They're going to be like, man, you had to have taken that note wrong. You know, and he's going to be like, no, that's what he said.
No, that's it.
Oh, God.
Okay, so Bad Buns has more questions. One of them being, why no necromancer? And I think the other one, it kind of goes hand in hand. When can we expect to see a truly new class? No necromancer. I think that's probably going to be the hardest to design. And so we're in a design problem spot with it, is my guess. That's probably the why.
I think so.
I think it depends on how. Class. I was going to say, I think it depends on how you want to design the necromancer, because you can either do it where you're raising allies, but we kind of already have classes that do that, or if you design it strictly for PvE that may or may not exist at some point, or if you design it for ultimate pit fight where it's like a wizard that gets stronger when people die, right? Like I want it to be an ultimate pit fight hero where every time a player dies, you like resurrect the corpse of an actual player. So I want to have a zombie Valda or something. Like I think that would be cool.
Can we LARP this?
Well, no, like, so imagine Levia, for example, has her demi-hero thing, right? Imagine that you're a necromancer for like ultimate pit fight. That's what it's designed for. But your inventory has like a demi-hero for a number of the like generic classes. So there's like a warrior one, a guardian one, you know, or maybe they have multiple classes. So it's like a guardian brute, just so that you can slot them properly.
It's like a token kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Combine ninja and assassin together, whatever. But then the idea is like when one of those players is eliminated, then you summon their corpse as like your turbo ally or whatever from the inventory. I think something like that would be neat in Ultimate Pit Fight.
That's fun.
Yeah, because it would be different. I think a bit more true to the class as opposed to just being like the Diablo 4, like I just have a million skeletons.
Whatever.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I want something different, you know?
Truly new class is my guess is the first set next year. That's my guess.
What do you think that set will be? Or that class will be?
Honestly, I think Pirate might be on the list.
And I know nothing about it, and that's what I was going to guess. It was Pirate.
Yep. Pirate or Alchemist are my guess.
Alchemist or Druid.
Yeah.
Oh, Druid's interesting.
I think that if we do like the full Savage Land set, Druid comes into play. I think if we do like a coastal setting, then Pirates. So Pirates, we kind of already went past the best set to do an Alchemist in because they just did it as all mechanologists, but you could actually just do a set that's truly set in the pits. But versus Outsiders kind of is, but I would say that you can do a little bit better than that with having the set with the Alchemist in it. But I think that Lena Bell, I think the Alchemist actually is going to be not in a set. I think that one is a standalone release hero. It's not going to be in a set.
Yeah, or part of something like Round the Table was. I could see that as well.
Yep, that kind of thing. That's just my thought. I think it's going to be one of those niche heroes that isn't really designed to be competitive. I think that's the idea that they're going to go with Alchemists. So
I feel like now that they've introduced several ways that you can equip things from your inventory, and now that they've even introduced cloaked equipment, I feel like we're like one step closer to the Druid experience that I have talked about in the past, where one way or another, you essentially start the game with no equipment, and then your equipment becomes the things you shapeshift into.
Sure.
So whether they're face down and they use the cloak mechanic or the equip from inventory or whatever, I just think that would be a really interesting way to approach that class, because they're not wearing anything other than or maybe you just start with robes or whatever, but then when you shapeshift, that's how you get your equipment suite essentially. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
Next question is from Moscow. Moscow? Again, another new one to me.
Moscow P. Coltrane.
I'm digging all the new listener questions for this then. That's cool.
Yeah.
Some newbies there. That's
a decent number of newbies, actually.
It's the dream.
Moscow, it is the dream. It's the juice. Do you think that powering down the game was maybe overblown or outright false? Or what do you think that looks like to LSS? True, but false?
Let me ask a question to clarify this. Did they come out with a statement they were going to try to power down PAB? Or
not that they were going to try to power it down, but simply that when they released Tails and some of the heroes after, so essentially all of the elemental talented ones, the earth, the lightning, the ice, right?
Starvo, Oldham, Icelander, Lexi, and Briar.
Right.
Okay.
They kind of said that those were at a higher power level than maybe they either originally intended or just more so than the other classes. And so they were allowing those to Living Legend out to bring the power level down back to more like its roots, if you will, and then go from there. So I don't think that it was as much a purposeful power level down as much as it was that was a powered up, and they were just letting it run its course to go back to what they perceived as the norm. And I think that that's probably more fair, just because to me, this newest set, for example, does in many ways kind of remind me of OG Monarch, right? I think that Enigma's going to be very powerful. I think Zen's going to be pretty strong, but you look at OG Monarch and Prism was strong and Chain was strong, right?
Yeah, I think it's closer to Monarch than Tails. Personally. Yeah. It feels like Tails, again, every time I look at a Tails hero, I just look at it and go, that still reads like it's a fucking mistake. Jesus Christ. And then start reading all the Icelander after that and Starvo after that. And we all know the Starvo problem. Holy Christ. But and then you go and you read, say, Riptide, or you read even... not Dromai, that's for fucking sure. But Arachne. Yeah, Arachne is a good example. This is we're trying to go back to something that is core understandable without a bunch of niche and a bunch of complication added to it that we can then design around slowly. One of the things that they have acknowledged that they've done is that they do not give a new hero all the tools that they would necessarily need up front. That's what the expansion slot is for. It's for giving heroes that may not have everything they need what they need, but that allows them to be careful with design. So a good example is Vincent, because Vincent's the new Shadow Runeblade, and Vincent's card suite isn't the best. It's not real great. Vincent as a hero isn't real great, but they've come out and said, we are trying to dodge a chain situation, so we want to bring this hero along slowly. And so that's not powering down the game. That's being cautious to not create another Arya situation where play an elemental hero or don't play. It's kind of what it turned into. Or play a talented. It should be play a talented hero.
Talented hero.
Play.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So my answer to the question is, I think it may have been overblown, but definitely not false. And I think it was overblown just in the understanding, because again, I took it as not so much that they were purposefully printing things below par, as much as it was they were trying to just print things that would be on a quote unquote normal power level and let the overly strong stuff naturally leave. And that's what happened. And in doing so, that does power down the game. Objectively, that's just what happens. Your power level was here, all those heroes LL, and so it drops to the more baseline. But I just think that, so when we look at some of the newer heroes that were released, I could see somebody make the argument where you say, okay, well, KO came out and he's won a bunch of events. is that really underpowered? And it's like, well, KO's only doing that because all of those Aria ones, are no longer around, right? He's powerful in this environment, but the previous environment, like I would take, an old Lexi over current KO.
Whatever.
You know what I mean? Like
Oldham would have a field day.
There's context is what I'm trying to say. So I do think that, yes, the game has been powered down just by the nature of them letting things LL, but I also don't think that they were purposefully like, hey, we're going to go away from 0 for 4s. It's not like, we haven't got new versions of Sync Below and new sets or whatever. Yeah. I think that they are just trying to, again, kind of keep things on where they had a target for power level and let the other stuff go its natural course.
Yeah. That's pretty much where I'm at too. Jordan, you look confused. It's like almost like you're pondering, like Dagon ponders.
Well, it's funny. Once you explained it, I kind of mentally moved on to one of these lighter questions.
Is it the next one?
The Josh Scott question, actually.
That's going to be a fun one.
I've got a
one of the lighter questions that just happens to be like 10 questions down and is also incredibly complicated. I love the way your brain works.
I have a lot of tabs open. I have a lot of tabs
You're
open.
such a lawyer. One of the lighter questions. It's just the one that requires me to like do a case briefing for. No big deal.
No big deal.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said later, not lighter.
No, you said lighter.
You said lighter.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's a light question for you, I guess.
Oh,
Fuck.
I meant later. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, the next one's an easy one. It's your classic fuck, marry, kill question.
Yep.
With Enigma, Dromai, and Prism. So Jordan, you're on the bubble. Like
easy. Kill Enigma, fuck Dromai, marry Prism. Sitting close in my rankings.
Derek.
Oh, sorry. Just
kill them all. Yeah, kill them all. Yeah, pure homicide.
ACAB.
Yeah. See, he gets it. He knows.
That's really good. Okay.
Yeah, kill them all. Fuck them.
Okay, that's excellent. Top 10. That's a top 10 answer. Holy shit.
That's 100% the right answer. Like, there's no
that's
two ways.
So smart.
Just kill them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving past that
one. did Justin S know that when asked?
I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know this is a bit you guys have now. Okay, I didn't know this is a bit.
We're on the bit is that all illusionists are cops.
I see. Okay.
Because they're the fun police.
They're always the fun police.
I see. Okay.
They're oppressive. They're unfun. Anytime that you're trying to do something, like, can I see your license for that or whatever? And it's just bullshit,
Spectral shields are just badges.
Yeah, they're just actual badges.
They're like, hey, you follow the rules of action points, but I don't follow the rules because I'm a cop. So here's a bunch of instant auras. And by the way, I don't have a real weapon. I have like 10 permanents on the board because they're cops.
I had some actual analysis behind this answer, but like I like that better. It's just way simpler. Like, gosh, I actually was like thought about it and was like, oh, who would I want to spend the rest of my life in eternal bliss with? But you guys are just like, what do you mean you can't have eternal bliss when you live with murderers? Yeah, there you go. Good job. I love it.
Yeah, you're just being eternally complicit, and that's fine. That's your choice.
That's your
You're
choice.
an adult.
You're in Columbus, where the police like to spend their money on spelling things with helicopters. So
not all illusionists or something like that. There's
something like that.
Yeah. Our illusionists fly letters in the sky. God.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's not all. It's just a few bad phantasms.
Next one's from somebody you should recognize, the Salty Sea Cat, Anthony.
I do.
His questions are: what's Jordan's most anticipated TCG this year? And a follow-up: use a bidet or no?
Well, I don't know how use a bidet follows from the most anticipated TCGs, but I appreciate it. Gosh, my most anticipated set release is probably Star Wars Set 2. There's I kickstarted this stupid game. What's the name of it?
Warlord or the AI one?
Altered?
The AI one. Altered. Yeah.
Altered's not the
TCG.
AI one.
No, Altered's not the AI one.
Gosh, it's Altered though, is the one I'm thinking of. The one where you like scan the cards into your collection.
Yep.
That one is I kickstarted it for a box and then two of the beginner decks.
Literally the same thing I did.
Gosh, I'm not excited about it anymore.
Nope. I lost the thread. I like the idea of like when you have one copy, you can print as many of that card as you want. Like even if like
it's just going to be easy to make a cube in that game.
Did
Like-
either of you like actually play the game when it was available
I
on
did. Yep.
board game
It felt like a
No.
board game.
or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It wasn't
I
bad.
played it. I kickstarted it as well. I think I did 3 boxes though.
Nice.
But I
okay.
also like really enjoyed it when I demoed
Yeah.
it.
I'm not going to touch the
And-
game more than casually. So
Well, I don't think that it'll honestly be played more than casually. If I'm being honest, I haven't heard anything about like long-term huge organized play, but the big thing for me, one, it's trying to do something new and different. And whether it succeeds or fails, I always try to support any card game that's trying to do something new in the genre, right? Like if I want to support innovation, I try to put my money where my mouth is essentially and do that. The other thing is, kind of the same discussion we had before where like Flesh and Blood fills a strategic need for me in terms of my experience. And then Star Wars Unlimited is like that more traditional nostalgic experience. And then Altered, as you said, Logan, it feels like a board game. It doesn't feel like either of those. So it didn't occupy a space within my experience chain. So I was like, okay, like if they're trying to do something new and it's different enough from the other games I'm already enjoying, then I'll give it a go.
I think that's fine.
That's a great way to think about it, to be honest. Yeah.
Because when we played Sorcery, when we were in Columbus, like that just felt like a board game, a pretty fun board game. Like we went to a gentleman's draw because after 2 hours. So
Yeah. Gosh.
You say gosh a lot. I wonder why that is. Is it because you forgot you can fucking swear again?
No, there's a guy at my job that says that a lot, and I've just picked that up. Like when we talk to clients, he says God. Like when they ask something that's kind of a tough ask, he'll say like "gosh" and then like go into a reason, and I've picked that up. Yeah.
Gosh, that sounds awful for you, man.
Gosh, what a fucking burden.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no, I still have 3 boxes of Sorcery in the back behind this mess that's over here that I mean to open because there's still like big hits in those boxes. I just, like you said, it's hard to justify playing it.
Well, I was just gonna say like I don't have any Sorcery, so like is a box enough I would need to play? Do I need to buy a box from you so that we can play at an event together or something?
Honestly, the starter deck set is the best $40 starter decks in the game.
Yeah.
You get like 5 decks for $40, and I think you would get a booster pack too.
Okay,
and like
but
those are really, good.
I don't roll with starter decks, man.
But you need the playmat because the playmat is actually kind of important. It felt like.
Oh right, yeah, I forgot. Never mind, I'm out.
You
zones.
can play without the playmat, like because it's just a 5x5 grid, but it does really enhance the like experience to have the official playmat. It really does. It was one of those weird hurdles. Like I bought it and was instantly like, the game is way better, but like, boy, I really wish I didn't have to buy this.
That playmat is actually what chased me out of buying into the game. Is
literally you saw that happen in real time. He's like, no, I'm out.
Right, because I needed that playmat, and I was just like, okay, how much is one of these playmats? What the fuck?
It's $50. Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, so it's $40 to buy the game and $50 to buy the playmat. That's like, I'm gonna buy.
I would be more inclined to do it if there was a competitive scene where I could go win a playmat, because that's what I do for everything, right? Like I either get my mats from events or I win them or whatever.
The cool thing is only one person needs to have the mat. Like,
well, I don't like that either, though. I don't want somebody else touching my mat.
Well,
no, you touch their mat.
Yeah,
right.
We touch each other's mat. It's consensual. It's fun. It's back and forth. Yeah.
I just told you it's not consensual. Don't touch my mat.
Oh.
I can't take you guys anywhere.
Fine.
All right, so the next question.
What about the bidet? We hadn't passed the bidet.
Our main master bathroom has a bidet installed. I do not use it. My wife does.
What? You have it as an option and you actively don't use it.
It just
all
like
right, Jordan, I'm about to change your life forever. Here's the real answer. If it's an option, always use the bidet.
Yeah, 100,000% of the time. What the fuck are you doing?
It's not even just because of the experience or whatever. This is how I'm going to sell you on it, right? Imagine you bend down to pick something off the ground, and then afterwards you realize, oh, I got shit on my hands, right? Would you grab some toilet paper, wipe it off your hand and say, oh, I'm good, I don't need to wash my hands? Or would you wash your hands?
I would wash my hands.
Okay, so if the option exists for you to wash your ass, why are you not doing it? It's the exact same thing. You've got shit
wash
on
my
you,
ass in the
and
shower.
the option, and
They
the
could
option.
wash your
but
ass in real time.
my point is like you know that you got shit on your body, and you have the option to wash it, and you actively choose not to.
RTS ass washing is like so good.
This is your two brothers who love you telling you like you need to wash your ass.
Those
man.
jets of water up your ass
no excuse.
are so
It's
pleasant.
unsettlingly cold. It's unsettlingly cold.
Eat some Indian food and you'll learn the fucking value.
How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this line? Okay, go to the bathroom. Use toilet paper and then just get a shower. How do you feel about that line?
That's fine, but you can't. Are you showering like literally every time?
I have a shower right next to that bath. Like that bathroom has a shower attached to it. And well, let me tell you guys, I'm a big boy. Sometimes you just need to get in the shower.
Okay, I'm saying, but you're saying sometimes. What I'm saying is, unless you are doing that literally every time, the times you don't immediately step in the shower should be the bidet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it another go. Abby uses it all the time.
Yeah.
Abby uses it all the time. She loves it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is from Stoop Kid. Do you wipe sitting or standing? We're just on a heater right now.
Yeah. Wow. Gosh. Standing.
Sitting.
Standing.
Are your arms just too short?
This is
break the tie.
So first of all, for me, it's sitting is the wiping, and then standing is where I make sure that the blood has stopped. But that's a different thing specific to me. I think we've solved your problem though, because if you're not trying to use the bidet standing, right?
No.
I was just shooting you in the balls.
So you understand it's supposed to be done while you're sitting. You're just choosing to do things wrong across the board.
Gosh, I installed the thing myself, and yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, Abby brought it up. It was like we should get one of these, and I went, I'll buy you one of those, and bought it and installed it. And not a plumber, by the way. That took way longer than the box said it should. And but yeah, no, I'll give it another go.
We've been friends for like 12 years, and I learned a lot about you today. Next question is from Jim Neben. So Ben, correct?
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
This is Ben. He's a local to me.
Yep.
Great dude.
Who LL's first from MST? Heart says Zen, Brain says Enigma.
I just hope it's Enigma.
I also hope it's Enigma.
Yeah, just get the cops out of here again. Like, they are already making the place fucking unhospitable. So we should probably get rid of them.
None of us feel better when they're in the game,
No, just the cops do.
Parade and there's all the
I also need to go on
players,
record. It's not just the fun police. I need to go on record as well and just say that they get special treatment. All right, illusionists always have the best marvels.
Qualified immunity.
Yes. That's just it. They have qualified immunity so that they get the best marvels, right? So like Prism gets cool angels, and even before there was all of that, there were like really good extended art heralds and things. And
I just
then
hate when the illusionists turn off their body cams right before any batch. Too.
we got Dromai, and we get all of the dragons, and then even now, like yes, we've got all the different like flip chi stuff, but then we get like special spectral shields in the golden pack. They just always get the cool accessories.
And then they just make like special heroes for them.
And I want to accept.
Gorgeous.
That's the one that comes out of the gold packs.
That's Enigma New Moon.
Yep.
Because of course the illusionist got
a special young hero that is only available in gold packs.
You know what this is like? This is like when our schools are crumbling from lack of funding, and then like the police department gets like a new tank. And you're just like, wait a minute. Like Columbus schools like don't have air conditioning in them, but like they have tanks for the police department. And you're like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Why do you need a tank?
How many school lunches could you pay for with a tank?
0, because paying for school lunches is apparently socialism or something.
Exactly. It is socialism. Perfect. No fucking notes. Let's do that.
Here's the problem.
It's crazy. Yeah.
If you pay for kids' lunches, then how are you going to incentivize parents to continue to work hard? But a tank will scare them into minding their own and
God, I know
not
you're
wanting
doing a bit.
I know, right? Like
and it hurts. But it's really funny. Like, but
It's really
until
funny.
it's not.
It's not. It's so sad.
Yeah, right. It's one of those things where you're like, man, that'd be really funny if this were like a movie that was parodying some other country. You're like, oh, haha, look how those people live. No, that's how I live. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Sure is.
Oh gosh.
That's why this country is some place that might be okay to visit every now and again, but living here is a goddamn dystopian nightmare.
I was supposed to get like free and reduced lunches, and then because of the social stigma, I just chose not to eat when I was in school. And look, I turned out just fine.
You did not.
You're a well-adjusted adult that has
Totally
no
well-adjusted, who's
issues.
getting multiple therapists to quit their profession.
yeah. Well, ladies, like, actually, you know what? I want to try teaching. Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
You know what? You want to know what also kills me, Jordan? I wish you would have been here for the Josh Scott episode, because after we got done recording, we chatted for just a little bit longer, which I know is shocking to people because it went for like
a little bit longer, like 45 minutes still.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, but I just remember afterwards, he was just like, "Oh wow, that's really interesting to learn all that about you," or whatever it was that he said something. Because like I said something about how I grew up, and I was like, yeah, I just used to always laugh about it because I just thought it was normal. And he was like, "Oh, that's so."
He called it terrifying, if I recall.
That's excellent. That's so funny. Oh my God. See, some people don't get it. We get it.
Yeah,
it's really
we
great.
get it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Next
love
question
Josh.
is from, I love Josh is the best. Next question is from Bryn, from Banish Zone, also co-host of FAP After Dark.
From like 50 other podcasts too. That woman is everywhere.
Crankshaft, and then she has a band.
Is she on a weed podcast or something?
Yeah, she has a weed podcast.
She has like a politics thing. Like,
yeah,
gosh, all while
then
being
she has
very
a movie
smart.
one.
Like,
yeah,
it's upsetting.
Like,
like,
she's an
all while
electrical
being
engineer.
Didn't she used to do like a game show on
manager.
Nick at Night or something?
Maybe.
Is she really?
Maybe. I can't believe you bought
the beauty
that.
is like, you're
tripping hard.
Oh fuck.
I mean, that'll happen.
To be fair, though, she's involved in so many things that it is
like
believable.
if you told me she was like a childhood like star on a Nickelodeon show, I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, like
yeah, she was on The Sweet Life with Zach and Cody or whatever.
She actually pushed Drake's wheelchair. You know,
she was on 2 episodes of all that.
Oh God, Kendrick Lamar would have a field day with that fucking one.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, so Bryn asked, "Do you ever empty the mailbag?" I'm fucking trying.
We're emptying the mailbag. I want to apologize to Bren publicly. She played a show 10 minutes from my house and I didn't go.
You suck.
I know. Abby was sick and like we were shuttering in because like she was probably contagious. And I had it on my calendar for like 8 months. Like, go to Bren's show. And Bren texted me that day and was like, "Hey, do you need tickets?" And I was like, "Oh, this hurts." Like, also Bren is the person I know the best, but I've never met in person.
Oh, you've never met Bryn?
We haven't. Yeah, funny enough, we've DM'd on Twitter, Discord, like obviously like know each other through the space. Never met in person. It's crazy.
Huh.
We've been in the same room.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm thinking of events you've been at.
We might have been at the same dinners even. Like it's been very close passes. And like I like her more than any person I've never met before. That's how, yeah.
High praise.
Yeah. Cool gal. And I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because I'm looking the current mailbag pins, as it were, are, I guess we could probably just like empty the whole fucking clip right now if we really wanted to.
How many you got in the hopper here?
Well, the thing, there's only a couple, but there's like a couple that weren't great unless you like understood what they mean. So one of them is just what heroes would be what cards in Love Letter. So you kind of got to know what Love Letter is. And then you know what Love Letter is. And then another one is, since you mentioned a giant back catalog, because we have 131 fucking episodes, tell me your top 5 favorite episodes. And that one I've been tanking on for a while.
Oh, there's some work in that. Yeah, that's really interesting.
That one was kind of hard. I got it whittled down right now to like 15.
Are there any pre-57 episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You guys show up in, I think, like 6 of the 15 right now.
Oh, neat. Okay.
But there are, and we got it whittled down quite a ways. Not even Charmer does not appear in the other, all of the other 9 either. I think it's 663. So, because Charmer has a few episodes that he wasn't on. I'm the only person to appear in every one. So
Then your list is wrong.
Okay. That's a nice opinion you have there, champ. But yeah. So it's like, it's really hard to whittle that list down.
Yeah.
But like the episode I did, episode 50 with Tommy and Elaine was incredibly fun. And that's where we found out that Elaine can't pronounce theater without sounding like she's a fucking socialite.
And honestly, that one might be my favorite episode.
It's really good.
Like on my list, that one might be number one.
There's the Kasai simping episode that was just me and Elaine. That was really good. There was the first episode that I did with just me and Mara. That's really good.
That'd be good. You should just post the list that you have in the Discord. I think people would really like that. I wouldn't worry about like top 10, top 15. I would just post the list that you're like, hey, these are the episodes I consider the best that we've done. And just like let people work their way through them.
I mean, the Josh one that we just did was pretty good.
That one actually makes the list now. Yeah.
Does the round table make the list?
The round table makes the list.
I'll be honest. The one that we had,
but
Alex
it's not an episode. I don't call that one an episode. The round table.
Sorry, Derek. I just keep talking over you.
Yeah,
no, you're fine. I was just gonna say the one where we had Alex on, and then I very immediately was like, "Hey, so why aren't we getting spoilers?"
that was great. Like he just comes out right away.
Yeah, I didn't even wait. I just pounced.
My favorite part of that episode is still he announces the new content creator appreciation kits that will be going out to content creators on our show. He announces that that's a thing, and then we didn't get one.
You didn't get one? That's brutal.
Right.
He did.
I like that guy too.
Like, I will not accept Alex slander. So just real quick, if you're listening, folks, he made it right. Alex is wonderful. He's a phenomenal
dude.
He is one of the nicest people in the space.
Yeah, I love the dude to death. He made it all right.
But it was funny that happened.
When it happened, we're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Did you guys get a missed preview card?
No, we did not.
Okay.
We got our heavy hitters one was actually printed incorrectly or with incorrect text, which even made it better.
Our part the Mistveil one was cloaked, and we haven't hit one life yet.
You're such a cunt. I fucking hate you.
Boo.
But at any rate,
no. Alex slander for
I will get those. I will post the top 15 for people, and I'll throw it on Twitter too. But yeah, I haven't emptied it, I guess, but there's a couple of those that are a little niche and just kind of depends on the audience.
Oh man, you're going to make work for me, because once you post that, I'll have to go and watch them, and then I'll have to do like a special highlights thing.
No, we'll just have Marcy do it, because Marcy went and watched the entire 3-hour Josh Scott podcast and then time-stamped everything.
He was
in the YouTube comments. It is Marcy went and time-stamped the entire fucking episode.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
It's not even my show anymore, and thank you. What the hell? That's incredible.
And I'm like, yeah, I did. I just went on. I saw it because the only reason I saw it is like Marcy posted on Twitter this is what I've been up to today, and I look and I start reading, like, because she did a screenshot, and I start reading the lines. I'm like, that's our show.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And so I went, and there was in the YouTube comments. I'm like, thank you. That's amazing. You're awesome. All of the above. I don't fucking know. Like, Jesus.
Wow.
So big shout out to Marcy for doing that. Like, gee, that's
Saint Marcy.
Saint Marcy. That's incredible. So thank you. Moving on. Vintox, you remember Trevor? So Vintox asks, how full is the trash can next to Jordan Kennedy's desk, also known as where the complaint file is for Flesh and Pod?
There are more flakes of paper in there than there were a couple weeks ago. Let me tell you, it's busier than it used to be.
No.
Moving on. No, I'm not. No.
You were wondering where it was coming in.
No. Stop. Just Jay. What's your soon to come next podcast going to be? Please. Jordan.
No. So the meme here is
pain. We laugh in pain.
Yeah. Your soon to next podcast. The meme is that I start and leave podcasts very quickly.
That's not a meme. You do that.
Not a meme. I just do that. Yeah. Well, first of all,
At Your End stuff was like several years.
What's that? At Your End stuff was several years. I was on and off during that time, but like, I did do At Your End stuff for several years. I did Flesh and Pod for over a year. Currently 40-ish. We're coming up on 40 for Columbus Card Guys. If I were going to do a new
Quest to 20 was the original name of that one.
It was Quest for 20, and then we like Lorcana started to just like do nothing for a long time, and so we moved into more generic TCGs. Like Dan's really big into Pokemon collecting world, and so and I like Fab, I like variety, I like Star Wars. So Columbus Card Guys is where it's at now, but that's coming up on 40. If I were to do another project now, it would be something with like not TCGs. It would probably be related to sim racing or something like that. I'm actually kind of, what's up?
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Since you continue to start them and then move on, could your next project be where you become a LinkedIn lunatic and you become a podpreneur and you just sell advice on how to start a podcast, make it successful, and then move on?
Gosh.
And even though we all know that there's like not money in that, I want you to do the LinkedIn thing where you promote it as if it is, right? Like one of those people who's like, I'm the founder and CEO of 7 companies and they have like a net revenue of $12.50. Like, I just think that would be such a good comedic bit to be like, this is how you can start.
But you have to commit to the bit. You have to actually do it.
Yeah, that'd be really funny. Like, here's how you make a Spreaker. Like, there's like 5 courses. One is just how to make a Spreaker account. Like, you just
how to manage your Discord.
Yeah, right. Here's how you add a channel to Discord, the masterclass.
Find a niche community. Talk to people in the niche community.
Find content that isn't done yet in your niche community. Carve it out for your own.
Why your audio setup is shit. Yeah, it's like.
No, yeah, gosh. No, yeah. It would be something with sim racing. Like, I really like the idea of like sim racing stewards where like you try to evaluate who's at fault in like a replay crash and like hand out what penalties you would hand out for like crashes.
What about slow play? Are there slow play penalties in sim racing?
Yeah, you come in last.
Yeah, you come in late. You're just a loser. Yeah.
It's a big penalty.
Yeah, no, that's probably what I would do. I still manage the possum papers a little bit. Like, I have 12 possum paper drafts. People don't know possumpapers.com is like a blog I maintain on TCGs, OPOSSUM papers.com. I have 12 drafts of like just different things that I'm thinking about, and I'll never hit submit on them because I just getting them over the finish line's a hassle. So the blog probably is the next thing I'll start and finish and never finish.
Hey, listen, if anybody's listening to this show who also listens to my Star Wars podcast, I have started a Sabine video 3 times now. And the first time, like, the file corrupted. The second time I ended up making changes to the deck in between. So I scrapped it so that I could redo it. And I've now started a 3rd time. So like, the difference is I actually intend to hit submit on this damn thing, but it is becoming the bane of my existence.
Yeah. No, you don't, because if you don't get it done before Shadows releases,
I know,
you're just
I need
to be like,
do it.
Fucking trash can this thing because it's pointless.
That first one was so good. And that's part of the other problem is because the first one, like, I actually edited in like card transitions and stuff. And I know that whatever one I put out now is going to be lower quality because at this point I just need to get it done. So it'll probably just be a static image. And I just hate that I lost that first one, but I think I just need to bite the bullet and just
get it out the door.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't think people like, I don't want to get too meta about like podcasting content creation, but like people don't know how much stuff is just left on the cutting room floor, like when you do like not like the podcast is the most like, off the cuff thing, right? Like, I'm sure I could think of a segment just a moment ago you guys wish you could cut. But like, everything.
I'm not doing it.
There's so much. Gosh, I hope you don't. There's so much stuff that like is probably good. You just cut it because of confidence or because there's tech issues and then time runs out. Like, it's really interesting. So, my soon to be next retired piece of content will either be in sim racing or the blog.
Good to know.
There we go.
Jay talks a big game, kind of a newer question asker, but pretty prolific at this point. Asks, how do you handle toxic players in your community? I would start with listening to episode 129, but I think our position's always been the same. There's no spot for it. When somebody is being toxic in the community, you need to raise the issue to somebody that can take care of it. And if that person is you, then you need to pull them aside, explain that their behavior is not tolerable, is not tolerated. Obviously there are some behaviors like overt, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, racism,
129 behaviors, right? Like just
that
we don't have
a 0%er and one and done. Right. You need to leave now. That is the reaction that we're going to have. And then some things where somebody's like in being toxic because of through anger issue, an anger issue or something like that. Sometimes they just need somebody to talk to them. And then they can kind of take a step back, but yeah, it's knowing which lines are this one's a cut and dry, not tolerated. You need to leave now. And the first thing that should always happen is you should be raising it to somebody that can do something about it. Taking something into your own hands prior to that is often, especially if it's in game, is not the way to go about it, because at that point in time, you're effectively going to be both held at fault. And that's not what we want here. So if somebody is being toxic or somebody is being problematic and you're in a game specifically, raise your hand, call for a judge, pull them aside if you need to, explain to them the situation, and then let them arbitrate and handle it. If you are the judge in that situation or the tournament organizer, like a smaller thing like an armory or whatever, it really needs to be you going and then having those conversations. And a lot of times they're difficult. But the reality of it is that it may be as simple as they just need somebody to ask about what's going on. And that fixes a lot of problems. It could be as simple as they didn't understand what they were doing. And that sometimes is just a wake up and then they get better. And sometimes it's you have that conversation and they go back right to the behavior and then you boot their ass. Either way, like, that's usually the point here is that don't tolerate the toxicity. Either call it out and make sure that it gets handled, or if it's not something that can be handled, get it removed. That's about it.
Yeah,
anybody?
No notes for me. I really like the distinguishment between large event and small event. Like, I think how you handle that matters. Like, if this is at your local armory and there's 12 people, like the toxicity is going to be much more like impactful on the surrounding. Like, you're going to have near 100% impact than if you will like a call-in and somebody's being toxic. Like, in the power dynamics are very different. Like,
yeah,
in my local game store, I have a lot larger of an impact than I do at a call-in. Fortunately, I think I still have somewhat of an impact, like at a larger group or a national thing, so that I could somewhat lead in those scenarios. But like you random listener at your local game store, right, have more control over your local community. And so I just figure out who those people are that like kind of are the leaders of the community building, and really lean on them to have those conversations. And I really, again, like you said, like, it really depends on why the person's being toxic, or what is it coming from a place of ignorance? Is it coming from a place of maliciousness? Those all like dictate the conversation. So it's a really hard question to answer because it's so broad, but I think, depending on who we're dealing with or what we're doing, you might have a zero tolerance about it. And like you said, gosh, the beginning of episode 129 might be some of the best discussion in podcasting TCG space, period. So I've been telling everybody to go listen to that on how to handle this kind of thing. Generally.
Appreciate that.
It's really good advice. Yeah.
Charmer, anything to add?
I say just fight fire with fire, and obviously you should just be more toxic than they are.
Okay.
Fight them in a parking lot on a weekday pro quest. We know that happens in the community, so we might as well not hide it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Burn it down.
Burn it down, I guess.
Derek Charmer Oswald. Yeah, there we go.
Moving on to the next one, Blaze Storm, value member of the Patreon, asks, how do you feel about Coalescence Mirage and the absurdity it brings with it? I have a very hard time answering this outside of, it's an illusionist card.
It's an Everfest card.
Well, true.
So
if you're not familiar, there's a cycle of them, right? Mm-hmm. There's a red, yellow, a blue, blocks for 3, costs 2. I think the attack powers are 765. But the big thing is that, so like it has Phantasm, but then when it's destroyed, so if somebody uses a popper on it, you get to put an aura into play for free, but there's like a cost restriction. It might even just be like 0 or 1. It's 0? Okay. But it's just, at least right now, turning on like a lot of things. And I think it's even more apparent, obviously, with like Enigma and Prism and whatever, just because it's like a free way to get value while still providing some tempo. So in the past, for example, you would either have to find your attacks that have go again or do something to set up your turn if you were trying to like not have a nothing turn, and then end with like passing Mirage, for example, right? Because that's just like a 0 drop, doesn't have go again, but protects your Phantasm stuff, right? So Mirage theoretically lets you still get the attack in, and then if they pop it, then you just get the free passing Mirage out of it. I mean, it's not a new card. It's been around for a bit. It's just that, illusionists are back on the menu. And so it sucks. Like that's the answer. Like it's not anything new. Yes, it's absurd, but welcome to Illusionist. Why do you think we hate him?
Are there 0 cost auras in the newest set with Go Again?
I don't think that it matters if they have Go Again or not, because if I remember right, it's not that you get to play the card, it's that you put it into the arena. So Go Again shouldn't trigger even if the 0 cost has it.
It's put into. Okay.
So my understanding is that you don't get that value, but it's just that you get the free value.
Free thing.
Yeah.
Which is annoying enough, it turns out.
Yeah. All right. Next one is from Dagan White.
The GOAT.
Our boy. The man.
You know what? I just realized wait, hold on. Before we move on, I just realized they might have actually listed the wrong card.
Are they talking about Restless Coalescence? Because that was fucking stupid.
I think, well, because I was looking up like, okay, well, what is like the annoying things that like you might have to worry about or whatever?
Restless Coalescence is 0 cost. Stupid.
And so, there's Restless Coalescence, which is close to Coalescence Mirage. And that card is new and dumb.
Okay, this makes way more sense because that Everfest question was like not out of pocket given the new set, but like a little strange,
It's 2022.
I suspect that this is what they were talking about. So let me just start by saying I love the art on this card, and that hurts me inside.
This card's gorgeous.
It's Ezure. Of course you love the art.
Yeah, it's Ezure, so of course he nails it. But also, like, the little ghost cats are just fucking adorable, man.
Yeah, cute little bastards.
So if you're not familiar, it's a yellow card. It's an instant aura, so no block on this one, but it is a 0 cost. When it enters the arena, move any number of +1 attack counters from auras you control onto this. And if you're not familiar, Enigma's like whole game plan is revolving around +1 counters on your auras. And then as a once per turn instant, you can remove a 1 attack counter from this to create a spectral shield token. And then this by itself also has ward 2.
Yeah, fuck this card. Yeah.
So the reason that this card is relevant, Jordan, right? Because I know that you're kind of new to this set. One, Enigma's whole thing that I'm sure you got to see at the pre-release, right, is that her weapon makes your stuff with ward attack, and it's based on the ward value, but then you also get the plus counters, right? So like, let's say you've got 2 attack counters on auras, you play this, they jump over, this now swings for 4, right? But then as a way to prevent itself, because this has ward, right? So obviously now you're trying to get damage in to force this thing to die, to pop it with the ward, because it doesn't have Spectre or anything. You can't attack it directly. You got to do it with damage. So the annoying thing is that you also can't just do the old, like, I'm going to poke you to death until it pops, because once per turn instant, like if you throw a 1 damage thing at it, they're just going to remove
Make
a counter,
shield.
make a spectral shield, and then that absorbs it. So you actually have to kind of get to this twice, or you have to do like 2 sequences of 2 damage sort of thing. And that's assuming they have no other auras. And spoiler alert, they're going to have other ones anyway.
Auras. And they can block.
This is a very well protected way to always also have a threat, right? Because again, Enigma, you need to have something with wards so that you're attacking with your weapon, and this just kind of does that for you. So yeah, this thing is very annoying because of the amount of shenanigans and board manipulation that it allows you to do. And it's also something where I think good players will skill gap players still either new or learning the matchup. And I think that makes it even more frustrating to play against because of that. But this is absolutely something that like you have to be familiar with if you're planning on playing against Enigma.
It's also an instant, and that fucking sucks. But all right, now we're going to let Jesus take the wheel. And Dagan has no questions, just a request for Jordan. Rant about something completely absurd.
So I thought about this when I saw it on the show notes. I don't know that I have like a topic like that I could go completely nuts on. I've lately been very frustrated with fantasy sport websites like having the worst customization in the history of the world. And if you're like, Jordan, this is not even close to flesh and blood, like, you're right. Like just the idea that like it's 2024, if I want like Fantrax contract values, okay, are an abomination. Like, why can I not set when the contract rolls over at a certain point? Why can't I trade contract values at a certain point? Why can't I set minor league players to be different than major league players and have it track when a player goes up and down? None of this is hard. Like from like it's all just in a spreadsheet in a database. Why can't we just do that? And so, and Fantrax is the best, and they're still terrible.
It's the best one out there. Yeah.
It's the best one out there. Deepest player pool, most customization. But then the second you want to have like a league that's like a little particular that goes off book, can't use it. You have to do things like you have to have 15 Google spreadsheets, and it's just like, oh my God, it's terrible. So that's the thing that I was like, well, what's really been bothering me? And I'm in one Dynasty Baseball league now. And the guys like to talk about rule changes all the time. I really like we're a pretty stock Dynasty league. I like those rules. It's easy for me to maintain. I don't have to pay a ton of time and attention to it. But the commissioner is continually complaining about how the things they want to do aren't in Fantrax. And like, I was just thinking that it's crazy. In 2024, we're having the same problems that people who started playing Roto have had since the 90s. It's just nuts. By the way, read a book about the history of Roto Fantasy Baseball. I think I told you about it, Logan.
Yeah, you did.
That. Very good. People that don't know about fantasy baseball, how it's different than fantasy football. You accumulate stats, like particular stats, as opposed to like just generic points. You can play fantasy baseball with points, but like it's not good. Terrorists do that shit. Like don't. Yeah. It's awful. But yeah, gosh, that's kind of the thing that's been on my mind as like a frustrating point, and I hope that counts as a rant. I don't know how long I went, but
you always have the back pocket of like talking about the Skyline Chili in Mansfield.
Oh yeah, so the Skyline Chili. So people don't know Skyline Chili. Okay, let's go back. Skyline Chili is a good restaurant. It's a good place to eat food. It's chili on top of noodles. Okay, like spaghetti noodles. Then you put a bunch of cheese on there. It's not good for you. It's delicious. Okay, they're from Cincinnati. Cincinnati staple, and they've made their way up through the state, bordering states. People come here and they go, oh, chili on spaghetti, gosh, could that be good? You're like, yeah, it is. I know that you shake your head there. Listen to me. It's excellent. It's fine. It's good. You get the jalapeno cheese. That's where the real sauce is. Now the problem is there's one independently owned Skyline Chili in Mansfield, and that's where the realm is. That's where my wife's from. It's not a good. It's not a great town. People from Mansfield will tell you that. People not from Mansfield will tell you that. Because it's not a good town. Nothing to like there, including the Skyline Chili. So the Skyline Chili there, they must put like cinnamon in their sauce or some shit. Because the first time you go to eat at the Skyline there, it's like they took something that was really good and ruined it. And so like imagine like a group of people that are sworn to like protect the lower class of citizens, and then you give them qualified immunity. That's like what they did to this. That's what they did to this Skyline chili. They took this thing that was really good, this chili on spaghetti, and then they put cinnamon in it, and it's terrible. Now here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go on Amazon, you're gonna look up like Skyline chili recipes. Like they sell it by the can. Don't buy that shit. That shit's gross. Okay, you need to go actually into a Skyline in Ohio and eat it. Like if you buy it in a can, you're disgusting. You're an animal. Like don't feed it to your dog. Okay. But the Skyline chilies here are great, except the one in Mansfield. So if you happen to be driving to a Realm like pre-release or something, you're like, oh, I'll go to that Skyline. Jordan said it was good. You're a fool. Okay, that's a trap. Don't go to that one. Go just to literally any other one. But if you're ever driving through Ohio and you see a Skyline chili, so stop, give it a try. Get a 3-way or a 4-way with onions. Okay. And then for lunch, you should get something that you want off the menu. But that was a joke we would always say in school, you know, like when you're 16 and want to be edgy. Because
get
the
that
menu
4-way and then get something off the menu. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was, you know, the menu items are a 3-way, which is like the noodles, cheese, and chili. A 4-way, you could add onions or beans, and a 5-way is like all the way, right?
Yeah, but beans are a trap.
Oh, it's a trap. It's a 4-way with onions for sure. It's like it's pinnacle, yeah. But like as a 16-year-old, like it was really funny to be like, oh, I'll have a 3-way, and then for lunch I'd like the spaghetti, you know. I wish I did still giggle at that at 33. But I could hear all of us saying it. So yeah, don't do that in Mansfield though, because if you ask for a 3-way with the lunch item, you're gonna get syphilis too. So not only will you get cinnamon in sauce, you'll get syphilis.
Cinnamon and syphilis. That could be a band.
That's a good band. Cinnamon and syphilis. That's a good band name.
Yeah, we should probably backpack that one. Yeah.
Let me go register cinnamonsyphilis.com.
Back in my day,
that's good.
Oh, boy.
Back in my day, we played fantasy sports on pen and paper.
Yeah, that's the old.
We did our drafts and our rules and everything in person.
Yeah,
we bought magazines.
100%.
So you know, you can do everything you want with any fantasy league if you just do it on pen and paper in person.
Totally agree. It's just crazy that the services are so advanced, but yet not advanced at all. It's just nuts. Like, you know, again, there's some league formats where it's better to just use pen and paper, like for managing your league.
I'll be honest. My favorite format for fantasy leagues is usually either a combination of dynasty and or auction leagues. Sure. And I love doing auctions in person. There is nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
There is nothing like looking across the room at somebody and you're like bidding up their favorite player, knowing that they're going to pay, 10 or 15 extra or whatever for them. And then there's that eyeball of like, what if I just stop bidding and stick you with them? And you're like, that's a risk I'm willing to take. Auctions are absolutely phenomenal in person. So what I'm saying is Flusham Pod Fantasy Football League needs to be done in person.
That's the hard part. Is we've done a fab one before. It was just kind of like nobody really wants to like invest. I guess would be the best way to put it.
It was very like thrown together, but it was like I won it, so it was cool.
If we can talk. So here, I'm just throwing ideas out, right? But here's what I would say: if we could talk somebody into doing like a yearly event for Flesh and Blood at a certain time period before the NFL season starts, then we could all also just have people show up at said event, and then we could do our draft / auction the same weekend.
That care though, that's your problem.
Oh sure,
but I really struggled for people.
Yeah,
I feel like we could get enough people in the community if they knew we were also going to like meet every year at a really cool Realm event. Just throwing that out there hypothetically.
We talked about doing like a cool entry for it instead of money, like do like either like a promo or like an alpha booster or like something kind of like just neat like that, like a different like fab specific, maybe like a Go Bananas or like,
but nobody wanted to like do that.
Yeah, people were like, how about $3? And I'm like, listen, $3 is not even, I don't turn my head for $3 in Gambo.
No.
Okay. Like, yeah, but no, I think that'd be fun. I'd absolutely participate.
Okay, moving on. Next question from Chuck. You remember Chuck?
I do.
Chuck says Moneyball. So we're referencing your favorite movie.
Okay.
Who in Wraith gets on base?
Sure.
And then also sushi, sashimi, or shrimpsies. Go.
Oh boy, gosh! I'll start with who gets on base. So first of all, Teklevosen is like Peter Brand,
Okay.
Or Paul de Podesta for the people that know the actual folks there.
Who's the Euclid? Like, that's the one you want. You want the Euclid. You want the Greek
You want
god
the
of
Euclid.
walks.
You want the Greek god of walks. I'll tell you what. I think Kasai is actually probably an OPS machine.
Probably.
She's really smart, really athletic. Probably has a really methodical approach to the plate.
She doesn't slug much.
She doesn't slug much, but like I'm fine with her just slapping dubs. I think she's just gonna get up there and go for 2 a lot.
The Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't need her to hit dingers. Like, I try to think about who do we think is like the best power hitter in the game. Like, and you could go like obvious things like Yoji might be a guard. Like Yoji.
Bravo's your power hitter. Yeah, Bravo's your power hitter. Victor's your guy that's going to get popped.
He's Johnny Damon, right? Yeah. Starvo's Johnny Damon, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, that's I think I really do like though, like Kasai is like she's not like Shohei Ohtani, but like because Shohei Ohtani hits for power and he's a 5-tool, but I really like her.
She strikes me as the kind of person who has a gambling problem.
Are you saying that like a Black Sox type of scandal brewing here?
I'm just saying she's got a lot of money she's throwing around.
She's actually just shoeless Joe Jackson. Like, we're going to debate her innocence in years to come.
Say it ain't so, Kasai. Yeah, that's a really niche baseball reference for people. Gosh, yeah, she's out there dealing with Cavdine and like, yeah, I don't know. KO is
a Rixie ref. Come on.
Yeah, come on. That's tough. I'm having a hard time finding one of those. KO is Tommy Pham.
Oh, sure.
Fighting everybody. Anyway, yeah, no, I like Kasai as my get on OPS machine. And so Chuck here with the sushi, sashimi, or shrimpsies. We were in Indy a couple of years ago for people that don't know the story, and like he had gotten sushi, Chuck did, and I had been drinking a little bit. We were all just having fun. I was like, "Oh, can I get one of them shrimpsies?" He was like, "Excuse me, what did you call it?" And then I doubled down. I just called it a shrimpsies again. I was like, "Oh yeah, one of those shrimpsies." And he's like, "What the fuck is the matter with you?"
Oh, sounds correct to me.
Back in the day,
Everfest had just came out. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah,
Abby opened the Guardian Fable
on a recording that we somehow lost at some point.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah, both teams played hard. Next one's on Joe Rost. How would a Jedi hero function in Fab, and what about a Sith? Go for it. I'm going to stay out of this one.
You just give them the Force talent, right? So it's like a Force assassin is your Sith, and I'll go with a Force guardian as your Jedi. Just go with standard iconic roles. Jedi gets like, a two-handed lightsaber weapon because it's just like the Guardian, like standard one saber thing. We'll say the other one, we'll give them like the Darth Maul thing where they'll get like a lightsaber staff. We'll do the double-bladed thing. And then as far as like your powers, I think that like you'll just have your Force talented cards that both can use, but then there will be benefits for one side or the other. Like both could, use Force throw or whatever. But then if you want like a Force choke, then it'll be something that interacts with, one class versus the other better, yada, yada. That's like the really shorthand off the cuff. I don't know. I could probably draw something up far better, but.
Okay. All right, you ready, Are you ready, Jordan? It's coming.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
Joshua Scott, Rules and Policy Manager for Flesh and Blood, asks, question for Jordan. If Tyler plays Shifting Winds of the Mystic Beast, then plays a Crouching Tiger, can they name the Crouching Tiger Crazy Brew, then destroy it to play Life of the Party with all 3 modes?
Okay, so Shifting Winds of the Mystic Beast, 1 cost. Whenever you play a Crouching Tiger this turn, name a card. That Crouching Tiger also gets that name. So you're going to play a Crouching Tiger, your name Crazy Brew. So the trigger for crouching or for shifting winds will go on the stack. It'll resolve. Then your crouching tiger will resolve, and it'll be crouching tiger crazy brew. You have to resolve the attack from crouching tiger, and then so then your chain link closes. Crouching tiger is still on the battlefield, and so crouching tiger crazy brew, is still on the battlefield, and so it really, I guess the question per my analysis so far is, do you cast the spell and then close the chain link, or do you have to close the chain to cast the spell? And I don't know how far off I am, right? I guess like that's the rub, right? I think you have to. I think casting the spell closes the chain link. So like I guess I'm gonna say you could cast Life of the Party, sacrificing Crazy Brew. Because when you cast Life of the Party, the Crouching Tiger is still there. Is that true?
The Crouching Tiger would still be a chain. Still be on the combat chain. Still be a card you controlled. It would have the name Crazy Brew, but it would also have the name Crouching Tiger. I don't know if that matters for Life of the Party though.
I don't think so. I think Life of the Party says a card you control named Crazy Brew.
Right.
And so
it does name Crazy Brew.
Yeah, Crouching Tiger this turn name a card. It gets that name. So it has both the name Crouching Tiger and Crazy Brew, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys like know the answer to that question?
No, I don't. This is just completely sprung, and I was just like, "What the fuck, Josh?"
Okay.
Okay. This
so
obviously had come up in dev discussion or some shit.
Yeah.
And
I guess like, could it be possible that you have to close the chain before you play but you play Life of the Party, and then that would cause the chain to close, right?
I think it's the other way. No, I think that you cannot close the chain, because the minute you close the chain, you're going to resolve it, and your Crouching Tiger is no longer there.
Right, it goes to the graveyard, but it's ephemeral, so that it disappears.
Right. So the Crouching Tiger has to be on the chain, and then after you've resolved that attack, it's still on the chain. Then you play Life of the Party, and Life of the Party just says discard or destroy a card. It does not say that it has to be something that's in any specific zone. We know attacks can be destroyed because of Phantasm rules. So while I don't know the answer, I believe the answer is yes. And I think that it probably came up. I think it probably even came up before this set, because even in, Outsiders, we had cards where you could change the name of a card on the equipment. Right. I know there's one of the masks where you can change the name of a card, because the idea is to mimic things for your ninja combo stuff. And I think that would work the same way as well, as long as the card is still on the chain link. And because then it's a card you control and you have the ability to destroy it. So I don't know the answer. Hopefully Josh will.
He will
tell us in the Discord or YouTube comments or whatever. But I would believe that this works as long as you do not close the chain link, as long as it's still there.
Yeah, I guess I agree. I think do you close to cast a non-attack?
Well, it's an attack.
No, I'm sorry.
Life of the Party is an attack.
I'm an idiot. So okay,
so
then,
it would be,
then I would completely agree.
You start with a thing. You can name your tiger.
For some reason, I thought it was
tiger, and then after you resolve the go again part of the tiger, you play Life of the Party and name Crazy Brew, or your tiger's named Crazy Brew, but it's still there. So I think it should work.
I think it works.
I think so too. I have the combat. I have the the comp rolls open, and I'm trying to find out what happens, but I think it works, which is cool.
Yeah, it's sick. I like this a lot. I'm gonna hit a couple of quick hitter questions here that came in as the show was recording, just to make sure the mailbag is fucking empty, because I got called out. First one from Sergeant Snipes. This should be an easy one. Velma or Daphne? This is just a snap Velma, right? We're all snapping off Velma here. I guess Charmer might not, because Sophia's got the Daphne vibes too.
Velma's the yellow, the orange shirt chick, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the nerdy girl? Yeah, Valmer. Velma. It's Velma.
Velma. Yeah.
The V.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
saying Valmer. Like, yeah,
Yeah, you're
Velma.
saying Valmer. I get it.
Derek, am I right on the Daphne pick there?
No.
You're a Velma?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Next one's a Greg Vintox double up. For Jordan is a hot dog, a sandwich, or a taco. So this has been hotly debated already between Derek and I, and we're just going to stay out of this.
Cares? It's a taco as long as the bun is intact.
Okay, good, perfect, good answer. Moving on. Last one is from Geeks First. Gold pack thoughts, like implementation rate, rate it, or like implementation, rate it A to F grade scale.
I bought a case, I didn't get one. F. I hate it.
So I would say
Derek bought a case and didn't get one A.
Yeah, I would actually say that this is somewhere in like the C+ range as a real answer, mainly because them all having kind of the same cards in them is sort of boring.
All right,
and,
here's my real answer. Okay, my real answer is it's like CC+ for me. Let me start with the good. I'm glad they did something. It's cool that they give us something different to look forward to within the boxes. There are always positives for trying something new. The things that I dislike about it are, one, because it's its own pack and it's not something self-contained in the packs. And I'm not saying this happens everywhere, but like if you have an LGS that opens a box for draft, for example, they might just scoop the pack for themselves, right? Or if they are open up displays, like it's very hard unless you buy the whole box as a consumer to like ever get the benefit of one because it's not self-contained within the pack, right? So like if the difference is Enigma New Moon could have appeared in the token slot like all the other stuff as opposed to the golden pack, then you don't have to worry about those things. Now, I also personally, and this is just something I've been reflecting on a lot since I've been playing Star Wars, I like the experience I get in Star Wars where there's at least the potential for a hyperspace card to be in any slot, right? So I know just jump straight to the back. And when I was opening my packs, especially like on stream for Part the Mistveil, going through the commons is exactly what you expect when you've done it a bunch of times, right? There's no fun or magic there. I would like to have seen them do something where instead of the pack itself being golden, it was like either, you know, you get a spectral shield and the Enigma in place of both of the token spots, right? And then the spectral shield was one of the two colors. So then you're also chasing those down. I would have liked it to have been something beyond just Enigma as well. Even if there was something more plentiful, just have it, I don't know, be something a bit more often. I don't know. I like the fun of like chasing down the golden pack, like Willy Wonka style, but I almost wish instead that it was like every so often there was a box that just had like a really juiced pack, and when you opened the paper pack on the inside, like it was gold foiling on the inside. So once you know you've opened the pack, like, oh, I found the golden pack, and then you knew something cool was going to be in there. Again, sealed that way, but still in any random pack. I just really like the idea of like when they did Dusk Till Dawn, for example, the like 1 of 10 stuff was in any given pack, right? So like the idea is like, hey, I go to an event, maybe as for my participation, I'm allowed to pick just like a booster pack, right? Like that's my buy-in for the event or whatever. Maybe I grab Dusk Till Dawn because, hey, there's a chance I could hit this like once in a lifetime experience. But like with this moving to the golden packs, I never get like that experience. Like, yes, there's still great things to pull in the packs. It's not like there's not value there. It's just like the marquee thing is kind of self-contained in its own thing, right? So I think there's pros and cons. But like long term, I don't care how they do it. I would really kind of like to see them, for lack of a better term, like rip off what Star Wars is doing. If it's not hyperspace, maybe they start doing everything as a potential extended art. Again, I know that that's asking a lot logistically. I know that's not like an easy thing to do. I fully get what I'm asking, but the experience of opening those Star Wars packs, knowing that you could have a hyperspace in any slot, has just really made me not just jump to the last 2 cards, right? Like I enjoy opening those, and I just want that same experience for Fab, because that's another game I love. And I just noticed myself like only caring about the last like 2 or 3 slots in a pack when I was doing my case opening.
All right, fair enough.
You know what? There is a good question in here. We'll go back 2 bets ago. Logan, do you remember the last time that I called you about a random bet?
This was you called me because in the context was player A. These are both people I don't know. We're playing.
We'll talk about Shatterpoint. Yeah,
it's Star Wars Shatterpoint. Player A has been on like an 0 for 9 slump or whatever. Playing against player B, who is a reasonable win rate. And Jordan wanted odds like 10-1. I want to say wanted 10-1 odds on the guy who is 0 for 9, and I snapped off no bet because he's due.
Yep.
There's just no fucking way you can't bet against the 0 for 9. Like,
Man,
that's
you did the Mikey Torek.
Yeah, we're due.
We got Mikey involved to talk about it, and Mikey was like, "Yeah, he's due. You have
right.
You have to take him.
You have to take him.
Oh, you can't take the guy out of heater.
No, absolutely not.
What are you, an animal? Yeah, because
Right.
I think I offered something like I said, like $10, 10-1, or maybe I made it rich.
No,
Maybe
you
like
said it was
100. Okay, because I wanted you to feel like you were getting something out of it, right?
Right. But like at the other end, and then like, I don't know these people, so it's hard for me to bet the 0 for 9 too. Like,
the 0 for 9 got crushed too.
I'm sure he did. I'm pretty sure he got fucking
close
stomped.
to close.
Yeah.
Wasn't close to close. Yeah.
But
that was the last time that I called, like, because he was also lacking confidence. He was like, I'm not going to win. You shouldn't bet on me, or you wouldn't bet on me if you could. And I was like, okay.
Au contraire.
Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, that is, I think that was the last one. The one before that was
is it my niece pouring cards out of a bucket?
it was the joust at the Ren Fair, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to gambo on who was going to win at the Ren Fair.
Yeah, I wasn't even present. You just called me. You're like, okay, here's the tilt. It's like Lady Evangeline versus Sir Tristan. They both look good astride their horse. They both can handle their lance. Who you got? And I'm like, give me Evangeline. And
I've never won one of these, right?
No, she lost. No, Evangeline, that's the only one you won.
Yeah. I usually lose the remote bets. It's awful. Yeah.
Well, you even let me set the line on your niece, and
I usually call to send you money is basically the way
pretty much
phone calls work. Yeah.
Yep.
Derek, do you want to know on these random phone calls to Gambo, or
I am okay with you sending me money remotely.
It works like that most of the time, frankly.
Yeah. The percentages are not good for Jordan.
No.
All right. We're going to actually get out of here. It's been 2 hours and almost 12 minutes, but
Jesus.
we're actually going to thank all our paid patrons this month. So we're going to actually thank the After Darkers as well. So we're going to thank Alan. I can never. It's fucking Jordan, Clark J, David Ejur, Jeff O, and Quasar for our FAP After Dark crew. Our associate producers are Andy, Sindra, Donnie K, Jacob, Kenny, Larry, and the Salty Sea Cat. Executive producers on up are Alex, Blazestorm, value member of the Patreon, Dom. Do you know this bit yet, Jordan?
No, what is this?
Lance Goodthrust. That's who it is. Matt Two Tokes, Poxonus, Trevor, Papa Mike, Philip, Rich, and Sunny. If you're interested in becoming a patron of Flesh and Pod, you can go to patreon.com/fleshandpod. Link is in the show notes. There's some fucking number of tiers that I set up. I don't know. I've added shit since and deleted shit. I'm not paid to keep track. If you need to reach the show, you can find us on Twitter at Flesh and Pod, at FleshPod. You can send us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. Do recall that all complaints will go to Flesh and Pod Legal, which is a subsidiary of Black Hole Legal, which is the trash can next to Jordan Kennedy's desk. You can also just join our Discord, links in the show notes. We're all reachable in there, including Jordan still, oddly enough. And
do not tag me, sweet fuck.
Okay, yeah, we'll shove it.
I have Discords turned off except for tags, and that privilege might get taken away from you people.
I don't know what the problem is.
Well, Jordan, where can they find you anymore?
Gosh, yeah, no, the Discord is the best way to get a hold of me. But don't you fucking tag me.
Don't get a hold of me via Discord. Vehemently don't. I'm about to make it so no one can contact me via Discord. Also, Discord's the best way to get a hold of me. And
yes, gosh, isn't that something? Mail? Yeah, send me a letter to the PO box that I
Do you have a fax?
Yeah. Oh, that actually, I've thought about it. No, I haven't. Gosh, I don't even know how a person gets a telephone line. This Columbus Card Guys is the podcast that I co-host with my buddy Dan Norton. Talk about TCG topics. It's a broad stroke on a bunch of different games, including Flesh and Blood. We record those on Wednesdays. They come out somewhere on Fridays or Saturdays. So in your Spotify or Podbean or whatever the heck, Columbus Card Guys. But again, DMs are open on Discord. Anybody share a server with. So if you're in the FAP Discord, you can shoot me a DM on there. And as long as you don't like at everyone, I won't hate you.
I only do that when necessary, sir.
You get the little pop up that says, like, "Are you sure?"
I do, and I click OK.
It's like, yeah, whatever I have to say is important enough right now.
I've done it like maybe 4 times total.
Fair enough.
Charmer, where can they find you?
Not Discord, I can tell you that. Don't tag me in Discord. That would be a real problem.
Don't at Charmer.
Also, as I say every week, Discord, the Flesh and Pod Discord is the best way to find me. So you should totally contact me there. At that Charmer, that's Charm3R on Twitter. Just Charmer on Twitch and on YouTube. I've actually started doing stuff on Twitch again. So it's not just me saying it blindly anymore. It's like a thing. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and you can find me if you need to find my personal Twitter. It's at Logan Peterson. I don't know why you would, but in all honesty, the best way to contact me is personally, as I run all the Flesh and Pod socials anyway. So Flesh Pod on Twitter, YouTube comments. Please like and subscribe. Yada yada yada. I think we're only like 100 and some subscribers from being monetized. Whatever that means. Don't actually care. But Discord's the easiest. Like DMs are open to anybody I share a server with, so feel free. Jordan, once again, thank you for joining us. It's been too long.
Thanks for having me.
And
yeah, it was fun.
We'll have to do a full reunion here in the offing, so to speak.
If you can tie her down, man, holy cow! I don't know.
I'm gonna try. I mean, you did it once. It can't be that hard.
She tied me
at
down.
least once. Yeah,
she tied me down.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week for 132. Bye.